Wow, I'm not exactly sure what happened right there, but good evening, everybody, and welcome to Full Velocity. Welcome to DRTV here, throwback night at the Darlington Raceway, the Hobo Racing Cup Series, off the heels of what was a successful NASCAR weekend with a throwback vibe. Well, the great folks at Hobo Racing, they have done just that here tonight with a lot of traditional paint schemes, and we figured what more could we do to get into the scheme than let's go back to the old look for one night and kind of be a little nostalgic on our own. So we're going to do just that tonight. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Full Velocity TV here tonight at the Darlington Raceway. Phil Lacasse here, along with my longtime broadcast partner, go all the way back to DRTV with him, Mr. Too Tall Todd Stanton on the call at the controls this evening. And Todd, welcome back. It's been a long time since we put a DRTV logo in anything we have done. Of course, now it's Full Velocity TV, but just like we do here, throwing back at Darlington tonight, we throw back on our broadcast as well, and this is going to be an awesome night. We had a lot of surprises in store.
Yeah, definitely great to pay homage and pay respect to DRTV, where we all got our bread and butter, where we made our bread and butter there, Phil. DRTV, got to thank Rich Patton for giving us the experience that he did at DRTV, and this is what we're going to commemorate here tonight. DRTV, Hobo Racing League, probably one of the longest leagues that we've been with here in the NASCAR 2003 community. Always a pleasure to come over here and visit these guys. And they usually put on one whale of a show. This time, the Lady in Black, Darlington here tonight, Phil. And I can't wait to see what these guys have in store for us.
That is a track too tough to tame, indeed. The Lady in Black, whatever, conglomerate you can do. Traditional, the 60th anniversary track these guys are running here tonight. It's completely a throwback feel. We're going back in time, but before we do so, we're going to take a quick moment here to honor this great nation, the United States of America, and the playing of our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Drivers, to your cars.
And we are back here at the Darlington Raceway with a special edition here of DRTV on Full Velocity TV here this evening. Throwing back at the Darlington Raceway, we have a really great field of race cars here. 28th race of the season for the Hobo Racing Cup Series, run here every Tuesday night. A tremendous field of cars, 30-plus drivers coming into the pit area this evening. What is going to be an awesome 111-lap main event. But something here, Todd, keep an eye on here. 111 laps here is a long time at the Darlington Raceway. It's a racetrack that you traditionally, you have to race the racetrack and maybe not so much the competition around you. This is a racetrack that really, burn up equipment here in a short order of time. So, guys here, they're going to have to be cognitive. I believe it's realistic damage here also. Darlington's a tough enough track to begin with. You put 30 guys out there having to keep your car clean. Yes, there's a really good, tremendous amount of grip in this newly repaved racetrack, but these guys got to be wary because trouble lurks around every corner, literally here at these odd-shaped Darlington Raceway.
Yeah, definitely a little bit different. Darlington Raceway, what's going to happen? Are they going to be able to defeat the Lady in Black here tonight, Phil? And like you're saying, we mentioned they went back to happy hour here momentarily. So a few of the drivers wasn't ready for the start of this race. We did get our national anthem in. We're going to be able to talk about them a little bit here tonight, Phil. And Darlington is one of those tracks, probably not my favorite. It is under the radar, one of my favorite to watch, but it's not one of my favorite to drive. Reason being is there's just not enough room in those corners. And I guess my favorite reason why to watch this one, Phil, is there's a lot of bumping and banging, and it's actually pretty high speed here at Darlington.
Well, it absolutely is. Darlington, a really, really cool racetrack here, Todd. It's going to be an awesome, awesome night here. We set the stage. You know, terrific field of race cars on hand every time we come to Hobo. I'm just completely blown away by the numbers of drivers that come out here and support this league. An awesome league. Find these guys at hoboracing.com. These guys are just some of the coolest guys you'll find. Really a good knit group. Really good racing here. Modified racing, dirt racing, the Xfinity cars and the Cup cars like we got here tonight. You know, all the links to stuff, all the tracks, all their car sets, you know, all on their website. So check these guys out, hoboracing.com, where you'll find Steve Rubino, Danny Rubino, the entire cast of characters that call Hobo Racing home. And, you know, it's really cool, Todd. We've done a couple of races now with our, you know, our rebirth, if you will, with Full Velocity TV back to Hobo Racing. But we have a lot of great things to come here. You know, not only, you know, we've only done Hobo in NR 2003. We have a lot of great dates coming up. Of course, 10 races for the FTF Verizon Cup Series. The full playoffs going to be here, flag to flag on Sunday nights. We have 4 dates over to TDR Racing to come. Believe we may have even some short track dates coming up in September. Believe we've had some calls from SMO, from Fast Racing. So we have a lot to come in the NR community. We've been busy in the iRacing stables and stuff, but NR still alive and well and still very much vibrant to the fabric of what we're doing here with Full Velocity TV.
Definitely still alive and well here, NASCAR 2003 season. I'm glad to be a part of broadcasting these events once again, Phil. You know, I'm part of the iRacing community, but this is where my roots were. NASCAR 2003, if we go further back, would be DTR and DTR2. But I'm glad to be a part of the NASCAR 2003 community once again. No league too big or too small. You just contact one of us here on Full Velocity TV instead of DRTV. I'm looking at the logos, man. It's just bringing me back. But Full Velocity TV, right there on Facebook, you can message us. We'll get back to you as soon as we can. We can see what dates we have available for you. But like I said, we got Sunday. We got the playoffs coming for FTF. Always a treat to watch those guys have added out there at FTF stables. Those guys put on a whale of a show week in and week out. And Justin Malello and their admin staff is next to none. They do a fantastic job of what they have to do there and everything that they do. But I like watching some of their aftermath after FTF. That's always been my biggest thing, and it's for the fans. FTF is, so it's a fantastic league that we have coming up. You know, we got Hobo Racing that comes up, and they've been with us since I almost won the bet, Phil, day one. And then you got Fast Racing. Hopefully we'll be able to see them here live on Full Velocity TV, and a bunch of other leagues coming up. Our home base TDR. Those guys have always been with us, and even through the DRTV years and all the other different years that we've been around, Phil. It's fantastic to have all these NASCAR 2003 community guys still wanting TV broadcasts, still want Phil and Todd. And, you know, when you're the best in broadcasting in NASCAR 2003 community, you got to have that.
Yeah, if you're a big-time player, you want Phil and Todd to come showcase your event, just like we're going to do here on Throwback Night at the Darlington Raceway with Hobo Racing. Looking at the Hobo Cup Series point standings here tonight, Herman Reese comes in as your point leader through 27 starts. He has scored a total of 4,403 points. The old school NASCAR style of scoring done over here at Hobo. He has a 500-point advantage over the number 13 car of Harry Codiani, who's in the field here this evening. 530 points back, we find Steve Grant, car number 11. Jeff Hugate, currently fourth in the standings. 692 back. That's a little bit of a ways. And running at your top 5 in the points. 730 markers back is the number 10 car of Randy Smith. So, you know, kind of cool here. We talk about Throwback Night. Kind of cool to talk about the throwback style of points. Long do we forget once upon a time there, Todd. Races, you know, these championships are decided by consistency, not always wins, no playoff points, no stage racing. I mean, it was the old school 185 points to win, 5 points for leading a lap, 5 points for leading the most laps. down from 5 points per position through the top 10. Then it went down by 4 till you got to 20th, then by 3 points from 21st on back all the way through the paying portion of the field. So what seems like a huge league of 505, well, if a guy like Herman Reese has a bad night at Darlington, which, look, trying to find where Herman qualified here, he was up in the top 5. If something were to happen here tonight, he stumbles, and a guy like Harry Codiani has a good finish. 505 points. It sounds like a big number. It's kind of maybe a 2-race advantage, but you can lose those points in a hurry. A big swing of a night here, Harry can have that down to about 350 in no time, and that's when things can start to get interesting here. And I think we'll probably see more of these races in the coming weeks.
Yeah, definitely, Phil. A lot of switching around is going to be for a lot of these guys out there. And one bad thing can ruin the championship hope here. And right now, he's got a pretty good cushion, but those old points do play a key factor. You still got to be consistent. Consistency is the key to win the championship. So that's what he's trying to do now.
Drivers, start your engines.
And we have fired the engines to life for what is going to be a terrific night for us here at the Darlington Raceway, hanging out with Hobo Racing. Believe we have 31 drivers to take the green flag, and this is how they're going to come to post on the pole with a lap of 27.352. The 28 car is Keith McLean. To his outside in the number 9, that is Jeff Fugate. Row 2, the 59 car is Duke Sorensen. Herman Reese, our points leader, rolls out 4th and car 73. Third row, we find the 22 of Jason Santiago. Roger Nevelsick rolls off 6th and 51 car. The 13 of Harry Codian, he rolls off 7th. The 44 of Danny Rubino, he rolls off in position number 8. Row 5, the 78 car rolls off inside. That is our buddy Ryan Johnson. To his outside, the 6 car, that is former winner here last time at Hobo, that was Rich Napick. The 4 car of Clifton Ashley rolls off of the 11th position. Ron Simpson, the 25, will start 12th. Steve Grant, DJ Hinsky make up row number 7. Rooster 9, Brandon Spadafora will start in row number 8. Row 9, we find Steve Rubino and Austin LaPlante. Mike Gibson and Joey Sigmund will round out our top 20 here in qualifying. 21st, we find the 23 car of Maverick. Frank Radosky, he'll bring the 39 car out from 22nd position. Everett Lynch, the 87, rolls off 23rd. Rob Heath will start 24th in car 38. I believe that's Jason 2 in the 66, starts 25th. Josh Boyer, the 41 car. Rob Keller in the 0. Bob Becker, the 17. Randy Smith in the 10. Kevin Roy in the 77. And the dog John Palmer in the 108. That is a full field starting lineup. Todd, we're already green flag racing here on the back straightaway. I'm a little bit behind here.
Yeah, we paid homage to the DRTV Pace fan. We'll see a little bit more of that here, and we'll explain a little bit of history on that later on in the going here on Full Velocity TV. We got green flag in the air right now. Keith McLean in the number 28. Throwback sideways. Contact made. Big wreck up front here. Actually, they got it gathered back up, but I believe that's going to bring out yellow flag. I thought it was going to be bigger than it was there, Phil. Keith McLean got sideways. The 9 had nowhere to go. That's Jeff Fugate. An unfortunate chain of events for those guys up front. Tough break for the 28 machine. A little bit tore up on the back end.
Yeah, he absolutely was there. That was our pole sitter, Keith McLean. He put a lap down in qualifying that was, a 10th and a half faster than the 9 car of Jeff Fugate. So that's contact up front in the opening laps. And, that's exactly what we talked about, Todd, at Darlington. I mean, it's a racetrack where it's hard enough to drive here single file by yourself and just one car with no traffic. You put 30 guys out there now on cold tires with a start of the race. Well, that can make for treachery in a hurry, and it did just that. Caution flag going to come on the speedway. That is going to bring our old friend, the DRTV Pace fan, out to the front of the field, the old mystery machine. It has been a long time since we found that. Had to go dig that one out of the archives, bring it out here just for this throwback feel here at Hobo Racing. If you're at Darlington, you got the 60th anniversary, awesome looking build. You have to have the DRTV Pace fan. If you're going to have Phil and Todd out in the air, you got to have a DRTV insignia. That's exactly what we've done here tonight. But unfortunately, Todd, under the caution flag on the opening lap of the race, and looks like there's some confusion out there as to, we know who the leader is. Looks like the leader is going to be, I believe the 73 of Herman may have come out of that with the lead. He certainly did. The problem is now trying to figure out where the van is supposed to be and, make sure everybody's properly aligned. It's a weird thing when the caution flag comes out right over the start-finish line. You never know if the leader took the caution flag or not, and sometimes can make for an erratic way of coming back to the yellow, getting the field back together. Looks like everybody's got it sorted out right now.
Definitely a little bit of the difference here is, like we said, the pace van there, Phil, when we found that out in the archives, we found a lot of mouse nests in it and different things to get it going, so a little bit slower than the one that we do also have, but it's out there. It got past, finally, Herman Reese. It's out there pacing the field. Luckily, we don't see no smoke out of that. We got that fixed before we actually brought it out, but Herman Reese is going to be your leader in that Cadillac machine, and the 22 of Jason Santiago is going to be second. Jeff Fugate's going to be third. Duke Sorensen fourth, and Ryan Johnson. That is your top five right now. I'm just in awe watching this pace fan there, Phil, on the screen. It's amazing. A lot of people out there that have watched us here at DRTV, Full Velocity TV, wherever we've been, Phil, Full Velocity Network, wherever we've been. This pace fan's been missing for quite some time.
It absolutely has, and, you know, now that we've kind of gained possession of the van again, because this thing was out in the junkyard, guys. We're not going to lie. I mean, it really took some poking and prodding to go find this thing, and, you know, even had to get some body work done on it early this weekend. Got to thank all the guys down at the Brothers Body Shop for getting that all done for us. But the van looks great. We had to be completely restored. The safety lights all repaired. You know, we found the old logos because it was reskinned for a long time. Got the old wrap out for it. So cool to see the van. Lets us pay homage to the history. You can go back to the archives, guys. You know, we got our channel here on YouTube as Full Velocity TV. But if you go back and search up DRTV in the old files, you will find probably about 300 shows in our old archive. And it just takes us back a long time. A very rich story history between Todd, myself, and, of course, you know, and I get choked up thinking about it now. You can't think about the RTV the early years, even kind of before Phil and Todd came along. The brilliance, the majesty of the genius, Mr. TV Time, Rich Patton. Unfortunately, didn't have time. You know, not sure what Rich was up to. Was hoping to reach out to him, see if he can cut a board. I know his internet connection at home, definitely not the best to probably get on here and chat with us and follow along. But you know, I'd like to say hello to Rich. Hope he's out there. Hope all is well. You know, we probably should check on him here soon. But you can't bring those colors out there. Can't talk about Dyno Racing TV, which goes all the way back to Rich's league, Dyno Racing League, which I think we're going to have a little bit to show you here a little while, you know, paying tribute to that as well. But, you know, why don't we do that here now, Todd? We have a minute here. We're still under caution flag here. The lights are still on the DRTV pace fan. Let's pause here for a brief second. Let's revisit some of the early history of what was DRTV. We'll be right back. Yeah, how about that? It's kind of going back in time, the original DRTV video intro from way back in the day. I found that, you know, hanging out in the archives and said, man, we got to show it off for the fans here tonight. That's what DRTV is. We are here bringing you action to the fans each and every night. We can come out here and do so out here at Hobo Racing here tonight. Had a caution on the opening lap of the race, but the lights are out atop the van. We are getting ready to go back to green. The points leader, Herman Reese, has found his way atop of the standings. Jason Santiago, the 22 car, Jeff Fugate, the 9, Duke Sorensen aboard the 59 car, and the 78 of Ryan Johnson. That is going to be your current top 5. Field working its way through turns number 3 and 4, which still to me, to these days, I still say 1 and 2 because I was just so used for years and years of, you know, the old layout here. As I'm just choking back all the emotion we got here tonight. But the van is in, waiting for the green flag to come from the starter stand, looking it over, Flag has got that flag clutch. She's going to unfurl it now. Green flag up in the air. A really late green flag here. Almost bunched up the entire field. We're working its way through now to turn number 1 and 2. Herman Reese, you know, so far unchallenged up front here through this restart. These guys now, after that opening caution flag down, Todd, they may think to themselves, we got to remember it's Darlington. Let's race this racetrack, and we'll let racing the competition happen here later on in the race because we still have 105 laps of racing left to go.
Yeah, definitely leave the racing racing a little bit later. These guys are starting to single out. The number 9 a little bit loose there. That's Jeff Fugate. And the number 9 machine got quite a bit loose coming off the corner. That allowed Duke Sorensen and that number 59 throwback machine to pick up that 3rd spot. That puts him back into the clutches of Roger Nettlestick and the 78 of Ryan Johnson. So those guys going to be able to be right on the rear bumper of the number 9 of Jeff Fugate. So a lot of the things going on. Yellow flag number 2. Now coming out on the Speedway field here at Darlington, the lady in black is starting to claim some victims here rather early.
It is, and Todd, I think you may have to go back to find our pole sitter with 28 car of Keith McLean. I think he may have had a little bit of a piece of this one as well, and didn't get the good view on it. Whatever reason, I just can't get the camera views from where I got it here to show up Chris Welby around the racetrack. Something I probably have to work on here with the old standardized core that we use over here at Hobo Racing. Just for whatever reason, my replay stuff doesn't work. Looks like this one may have also picked up the 76 car of Mike Gibson. Some heavy damage to the 76 car on this one as well. So allows Todd Stanton to throw up the old full velocity TV. That awesome caution, I believe we get out there. Todd's going to get to work down there in the trailer. You know, kind of go back through the replay. Hope to give you all the great looks around the Darlington Raceway. And no, not exactly sure here. I'm trying to figure it all out there, Todd, but do we have an alien abduction here? Something going on. I'm trying to go back through just my replays here and see where the 76 car may have had something go afoul, but what do you got down there for us to show?
Let me unmute myself first. We're looking down here at the 28 machine, and I'm not sure what happened here, Phil. I know that you said something about the 76, and then you looked at the pole sitter. But what's the 28 of McLean here? Magically, everybody, they just, look at this. Just aliens. Take him. He's off the track. Not to reappear again there, Phil. So I'm going to go back through and see what happens. But Keith McLean is just gone.
Well, it's throwback night here, but sometimes even the aliens have to reappear and let us know that, hey, you know, we're still very much a part of the equation. We are still here, and the aliens may have abducted Keith McLean. Hopefully they take care of Keith. Hopefully they don't rough him up too much. For that car, totally lost contact with the racetrack, and unfortunately, Todd, it looks like it may have gobbled up drivers like Mike Gibson, and an early favorite here early on was up in the top 5. The 78 car of Ryan Johnson also had damage to his race car. Ryan Johnson's night may be done. The 78 behind the wall looks like that team is also going to have to call it a night. So what looked like an innocent alien abduction, well, it may have somehow claimed 2 race cars, probably just in the aftermath of, you know, just trying to scramble and hope he does not come back, you know, visible right on top of your car. It's all been done to us 100 times.
Yeah, definitely, Phil. I got another look here. McLean disappears, but some other weird things happen here on the Speedway. So we're rewinding here with the number 4 machine. This is Clifton Ashley, and the number 4 Pennzoil. This is should be one of your favorite cars. He gets into the outside wall here, just a tad bit. The wall sucks him in, keeps him up against the wall. He comes back down just a little bit here. Nope, he's not coming back down, but he does make the 86, I do believe, or 76, making an evasive maneuver there and hard into the inside wall. 76 comes back across the track, does not clip anyone. 64 just skating through. It's Joey Sigmund in the number 64, just skating through without making contact with him. So interesting things happening, weird things happening at the Lady in Black here this evening.
Yeah, absolutely, indeed. That, unfortunately, has torped a couple of good race cars. The pole sitter, Keith McLean, looks like, you know, that car lost all contact with the entire universe. Not sure what the status of his night is going to be. You know, looks like the aliens have taken him all the way out. So looks like that may gobble up 3, which look like decent race cars in the opening laps here And it's Darlington, Todd. The Southern 500 for years, and we'll kind of got our own version here of a Southern 500. 111 laps. It is a long race, a long distance around this place. Probably 1/3 of, so probably call it just about 200 miles at this place here tonight, give or take a little bit. This racetrack has always been survival of the fittest. You kind of come here expecting to see a whole lot of bent-up race cars, duct tape cars, missing parts, maybe a little bit of hurt feelings. Hurt engines. This racetrack has always been tough on equipment over the years. It's going to be tough on these drivers here tonight. We're not expecting things to be clean. We're not expecting things to be pretty. It is Darlington. It is racing at not only its finest, but definitely at its most challenging. We're going to have all that right here on display here tonight. It may be a little bit of a tad longer evening, but these earlier laps with the great crowd of race cars we had, you may see some of this early caution flag fever, and you may see some really decent race cars tore up, just as we saw there. The 28's gone, the 76 and 78 cars both behind the wall. We saw the 4 car of Clifton Ashley, which, as you said, probably my favorite scheme out there, being an old school Steve Park fan. So, I hate seeing that car up on the wall so early. But yeah, I mean, a lot of race cars here kind of have some marks already, and we still have 100 laps of racing to do at this tricky 1.33 mile, egg-shaped oval.
Phil, one thing you forgot to mention is donuts. I don't know how you could forget donuts on the side of the doors. That's the most extinguished thing here at Darlington, or any of the short tracks for that matter, across the country. Donuts on the side of the door, and rinky little donuts on the side of the door. That's the most interesting thing. The lights are extinguished on the DRTV pace van as Keith McLean flashes by to get one of his laps back in that number 28 machine, but DRTV van has been extinguished. Your current race leader is Herman Reese. Jason San Diego is second. Third is Duke Sorensen. Roger Nevillestick is running fourth. Dan Rubino in the number 44. He's running fifth. Richard Napick is sixth. Seventh is DJ Hinsky. Eighth is Ron Simpson. Austin LaPlante up to ninth. And the Rooster, the number 94, up to 10th. Just waiting for these guys as they come down here through turn number 3 and out of turn number 4 to get this green flag here. And we're going to be locked and loaded here, Phil, here at Darlington Raceway once again. Hopefully we can get some green flag laps in, because if not, we'll have to page one of our old friends out there. Yeah, I know he's out there just waiting for our call. DRTV pace van pulls in, hard left-hand turn. Flagger has that green flag in hand, waiting to send all these drivers on their way. Just waiting for that loud pedal, waiting for it to come down here with this green flag. Is Herman Reese down on the bottom here in that number 73, looking like he's going to restart way down in the bottom. Not sure what's going to go on. Looks like yellow flag came out once again there, Phil, maybe. Another yellow as we're getting pumped up, ready to go back to green flag racing, and the flagger throws yellow again.
Yeah, must have saw something on the racetrack he didn't like, or maybe it was just a matter of Keith McLean getting all caught up. Whatever it was, we were expecting to go green. And next time, just like I did the last time, Todd, it seems like that flagger, he's kind of shy here this evening. Maybe a little bit of old, maybe some arthritis in the shoulder. That last green flag we got seemed to be really late. You had the build-up all ready to go, and it was at that last second we expect green. That yellow unfurls, the lights turn back on, and not exactly sure what happened here, but, I see guys down on the apron. I think a couple of guys may have elected to come toward pit road to top off, so we're going to expect that the lights go off again this time around, hopefully put us back under green flag racing here. Darlington Raceway, said it's going to be a long night. We're going to see some wrecks. We're going to see some tore-up race cars, probably some tore-up feelings. We'll do our best here through the part of the evening. We'll get guys involved in the story, bring some drivers into the conversation, and try to make some fun of this evening for us all to, get to know a lot of these guys. We've got to know a lot of the Hobo characters over the years, maybe some we don't know. So maybe we can bring some new voices into the equation here this evening. But the van has found its way back now to pit road. We did it last time. We'll see if he's going to trick us again here this time. The flagger looking over the field. Herman Reese is going to bring them to the green flag. Waiting. There it is. Green flag up in the air. And those cars are almost right to the top of the start-finish line when that green flag comes out. So not sure that's how they did it back in the 70s or the 80s, but nonetheless, we're racing through 1 and 2. Herman Reese out in the lead.
Herman Reese up through the gearbox. The quickest there, number 22, Jason San Diego, running in that second spot. Having a good run here as he's starting to close the gap already. About a car length and a half here between the 73 and that number 22 machine. All these guys pretty much stay in single file. They want to get some green flag laps, and I can almost imagine these guys need to get the heat in their tires in order for those guys to actually start making some moves here. And Darlington is one of those tough tracks. They say it's too tough to tame there, Phil. And right now, they're out there clean and green here. No yellow flag. I don't want to keep and jinx us here, but the 22 all over the rear bumper, the 73 of Herman Reese.
And keep in mind, it is also open setup over here Tuesday night at Hobo Racing. So these guys have adjustability into their setup. So some of these cars, Darlington is always a racetrack that seems to get tighter and tighter the night goes on. So you may set these race cars up really loose, and we've had some early caution flags. These tires are ice cold. It's going to take a couple of laps to get them up to temperature and see what these guys can really do to start charging, you know, angles of the racetrack. The 73 of Herman Reese has about a 3-car length advantage on the 22 of Jason San Diego. Race for third between Duke Sorensen, the 59 is there. The 51 of Roger Nebelsick, the 44 of Danny Rubino. That's a good race there. Also, Rich Knappich in the 6 car as well. He's driven his way up into the top 10. Rich Knappich may be the car on the move, that old school looking Valvoline number 6 there. Rich Knappich on the inside. He's going to look to the low side of Danny Rubino as they exit off of turn 2.
To no prevail for the number 6 of Rich Knappich. Knappich right now able to hang on to that 6th spot, so double sixes right now for Knappich. Knappich, like you said, holding on here in 6th. Currently running in that 7th spot is DJ Hinsky. Let's take a look at DJ Hinsky here momentarily as we're going to take a look down through here. DJ Hinsky running a different type of paint scheme than he's accustomed to here. Number 14 machine, so nice to see the 14 out there. It's a nice yellow and I'm going to say magenta type car, but I kind of like it. Marty Robbins sponsored machine, so we're going back there just a little bit. Then you got the DuPont sponsored, like a DuPont sponsored machine back there. It's not actually a DuPont, but it's actually Simpson Fence here. The number 25 of Ron Simpson running the old throwback Rainbow Warrior scheme out there, Phil.
Yeah, it absolutely is. That's 25, that Simpson Fence Chevrolet. Old throwback to the old Jeff Gordon Rainbow Warrior car that, you know, was so successful in NASCAR for so long. Even look one spot behind that back, the familiar Lowe's Chevrolet throwback little paint scheme there for the 48 car of Austin LaPlante, who's currently running 9th. And then you look back to the 10th spot and you find that old Melling Coors number 94 car of, you know, I want to say Bill Elliott. Well, that's the Rooster 9, car number 94, having a good run so far out of the gate. Love that old Melling Ford there, Todd. That I was a fan of that car way back in the 80s. Now, caution flag going to go on the speedway. Smoke up ahead. This one may have happened near the front of the field as I see one car has gone around, and that's up in racing around for that 5th or 6th spot, Todd. I'm going to try to scramble through this quick, as I know you're going to, but it looks like the 22 car, Jason San Diego, he was running 2nd. Looks like something going to miss on that car. May have just overdrove the corner, and looks like that may have stacked up a couple of guys up at the front of the field. That was racing up for that 2nd spot. So I'm going to keep you busy down there. We're going to be busy all evening long. Why don't you show us what happened down there? Is the 22 looks like he has gone around, and this one may have gobbled up a couple of good-looking race cars, a couple of really good fast race cars in this one.
Yeah, we spoke about the 22 having a good run of Jason San Diego here, and here we go. This is what happened to the number 22 machine. This got a little tail happy. The number 22 around here makes contact with the outside wall, spinning around here, coming back down the track, and that's Darlington's self-cleaning technique there. Don't need a sweeper here. 25 around Simpson into him. The 14 also involved, backed it in there. Simpson did not get as much damage as, say, maybe the 14 machine. All these cars, DJ Hinsky, the 14 made heavy contact there to the outside wall, but I believe he just pancaked the right side of the number 14 machine. But the 22 is now a compact, Phil. The 22 of San Diego. Not looking too healthy out there. It looks like an Aveo.
Yeah, it kind of looks like a Aveo, and also tough break for Ron Simpson's 25 car. His car is involved, but Todd, that car took a really hard hit, and it looks like it may have broken something in the motor. It looks like something may have blown through the head there. Looks like engine failure, damage to the wreck. Looks like Ron Simpson's night with 25. Unfortunately, his night going to come to an abrupt end here. 3rd caution flag of the night now, working lap number 21. So we're going to let these guys come toward pit road, communicate with the drivers, communicate with the spotters, allow some guys get to some damage fixed down there. And, we'll talk here for a brief minute there, Todd, as these guys come to pit road for service. But then we'll bring somebody in the conversation and see what they're thinking out here for Throwback Night at Darlington. What do you think?
I definitely love Throwback Night here tonight. Seeing all these different cars out there, probably one of my favorite cars out there has to be the number 6 car. I kind of like that throwback Mark Martin scheme. I've always been a secret fan and secret admirer of Mark Martin. He's always drove Fords. I've not been a fan of Fords. I've always been a Chevy man. But, Mark Martin, he's always been that type of guy. You can just root for him behind the scenes, and you may not be liked if you like a Ford guy, but Mark Martin, always a class act, and that was one of those schemes I liked. He's got some other schemes like the Folger schemes, different schemes that I used to follow with Mark Martin. I wasn't a big fan, but I was kind of behind the scenes fan of him.
Mark Martin was just a driver's driver, a man's man. It always seemed like he had that little guy mentality. You always felt like, the average common man, that was your guy to root for. Mark Martin I was a fan for a long, long time, going all the way back, as you said, to the Stroh's Light scheme, the Valvoline schemes, the Folger scheme, obviously. So, yeah, cool to see a lot of these old cars on display here at Hobo Racing here tonight. And, we talk about the 6 car. What do you say? We'll bring old Rich Napick into the conversation here in our team speak communication. So give me a brief second here. A lot goes on in these races as far as transmission goes, and you get into the team speak communication and you have 30 plus names in here, and a lot goes into it. As we click off the screen, we try to talk to some of these guys, and something we don't get to nearly enough of. So we'll see if we can't dial up the 6 car of Rich Napick. I think we got him moved around to the waiting room, up into the broadcast booth. Rich Napick, my friend, Phil LaCassa, Full Velocity TV. Do you have a copy there, bud?
Yes, gotcha.
Rich, well, so far we've had 3 early caution flags in the going here. We see some really nice cars get tore up, but we highlighted your car right away. That awesome-looking old-school Valvoline, car number 6 of Mark Martin. I got to assume that, the paint scheme, one thing. I got to think that car number, it's been attached to you for a long time, probably has to come from that Mark Martin grain. If I'm right, I got to think I got to be right.
Oh yeah, Mark Martin, he was definitely a good, clean driver.
Yes, he was. I mean, a Champions race car driver, a guy who, didn't get sold short by no means, but should have been a multiple-time NASCAR champion over the years in his own right. But we're here at Darlington tonight there, Rich, celebrating Throwback Night. You guys, these awesome-looking cars, the Full Velocity guys flying out the old DRTV colors for one night, the van out there rolling around. Darlington's always been a tough, tricky racetrack. How's the racetrack out there? Tremendous amount of grip in it. Are these things loose on the early going? I know you guys are out there open setups, but how's this racetrack seem to be running? Looks like it's in really immaculate shape here.
3 and 4 is a little loose for me, so got go in there, tiptoe it through there, and hope for the best.
Well, I think that's kind of what everybody's doing there. I mean, we're seeing cars. We see guys wrecked in the back. We've seen a lot of stuff happening up front. Saw some good race cars up there early. You're a guy who, contends for, wins at Hobo. One of the front runners up here, if you will. We've talked to you in Victory Lane here before. We still have a lot of racing left to go. I mean, we have, 78 laps of racing still. So we have a lot of laps to go. What's the strategy going to be for the 6 car all night? I got to imagine it's got to be keep the fenders on it, keep that thing clean, and bring this thing home to the checkered flag.
Yeah, absolutely, and take care of the tires. Tires are the main thing here.
Oh, absolutely right. This place is a cheese grater, no doubt. All right, well, that's Rich Napick. Thank you, Rich, for a couple of words. We'll hope to talk to him later on. I know if we don't talk to him again tonight, we have a lot of races coming up to date here at Hobo. I know we're going to be back here, I believe, next Thursday night here with the Hobo Modified Series. So we've talked to Steve about having some more dates even sprinkled into the fray. So we appreciate Rich Napick's time. One of the great things we can do here at NR 2003, Todd, we have the ability to talk to these guys under the caution flag, so you get minute by minute up-to-date info of what they got going on. But the DRTV Pace van, the old school van, has brought its way onto pit road. That's going to bring the field back in the hands of the 73 car of Herman Reese. Roger Nebelsick currently running in the 2nd spot. Danny Rubino 3rd. Rich Napick 4th. And Austin LaPlante, he's currently running 5th. Green flag's up in the air, Todd.
Green flag up in the air there. Felt the 73. large and in charge here tonight already. Herman Reese out to an early advantage once again here on this initial start. He's got that, what it takes there on the restart to pull a nice gap between himself and whoever's in second, this time being Roger Nebelstick in that number 51 machine. Like I said, Dan Rubino in the 44, he is running in that third spot. The number 6 of Napick running in the 4th spot in the number 6. The 48 of Austin LaPlante running 5th. 6 is the Rooster, Steve Rubino in that number 21 machine. He is running in the 6th or 7th spot. Clifton Ashley, the number 4, the 44, making contact to the wall that sucks him in. That is the number 44 of Dan Rubino. Is that going to bring out a yellow flag? He is trying to keep it out of the people that are coming down through here. He's indeed going to do so. Good hands, good eyes for the number 44 of Rubino. He's going to be able to continue on there, but the contact, the lady in black, claims another one. That wall, Phil, tricky as it sucks you in.
Oh, it absolutely does. And unfortunately, you see for a guy like Danny, you get up in the high lane, you get stuck on that wall. It's kind of like it's got glue. It just kind of takes you in, and sometimes it just don't let you go. And sometimes when it does, it's got a way of spitting you back in traffic. So, great heads-up driving by all these guys. Great communication to know the 44 car was up on the wall having some trouble, and we got away from that. Nobody making contact. We're still green flag racing, which is really, really good to see. Herman Reese continues to lead. Roger Nebelsick is there. Rich Napick up the 3rd. Good race going on, Todd, for the 5th spot. Oh, Rooster, the 94 is there. He's got a mirror full of a 21 of Steve Rubino. Clifton Ashley in the 4 car. He is there as well. That's good racing for 5th there as they work their way now toward turn number 1.
Yeah, working our way down to turn number 1. These guys fighting tooth and nail here. It's really, really hard to pass the number 4, trying to work over the bottom. That's Clifton Ashley trying to get around the 21 of Steve Rubino. Not going to be able to do so. He's going to fall back in the line behind the 21. I want to highlight another car here, Phil. I was just back there, and I said, holy Batman. There is a Batman car out there, McDonald's-sponsored Batman. 37, fantastic throwback scheme for that car. I have to say that much. I looked there and I was like, wow.
That, of course, is Brandon's spot of forehead. I'm trying to scroll around that. That is really cool. The Batman McDonald's throwback scheme for Brandon. That is a cool-looking car. No, he was a guy, you got to make sure you show this one tonight. And absolutely, indeed, look at that thing go. Batman is flying out here tonight at Darlington. Brandon has a 37, currently up in the 14th spot, but with all the laps to go, we still got a lot of racing here left to do. Is choking back some water here, Todd, so let me throw it back to you, and I'm going to take a quick drink here.
I'm just watching these guys go through the field, changing some of the camera angles on some of these guys. Just watching through the field, like I said. Number 17, just taking a look at old Pushrod. He's running in that 15th position in that DeWalt-sponsored number 17 machine. So running about 15th, it's pretty good to be running right there, early on the going. Looks like there's a lot of smoke up ahead, and Batman's involved, Phil. Batman is involved. Hopefully he's not downed.
I don't think he got too big of a piece of this one. I'll let you go back and tell the stories here on the full velocity replay. But, yeah, definitely did see smoke up ahead. Just trying to find where the smoke may have originated from. I see 2 cars up against the wall, and this one don't look like it's going to end too pretty for, I believe, the 9 car of Jeff Fugate, and don't believe there was much to see there as far as contact. Maybe one of those things there, Todd. Cold tires at Darlington doesn't equal good things at all, and looks like for the 9 car of Jeff Fugate, well, he may also be driving a compact here, as you'll show us on the replay. Looks like the back end of that race car may have got a little bit light as well.
We definitely do, Phil, have an issue here with the number 9 machine. And, unfortunately, Fugate gets tail happy, slaps the outside wall. He's around and around and around, and Spatafor does everything he can to miss him. Self-cleaning track. He goes down to the bottom instead of going up through the smoke up high. Spatafor goes down to the bottom. He makes a little bit of contact, nose damage to the number 37 machine that Batman sponsored. Then again, he spins around all by himself. You can kind of see that off in the far distance. But the 9 definitely is subcompact. and that's one of those Dodge. I don't know what Dodge to call it. You can call it a Dodge Neon. We're gonna call it Dodge Neon, Phil, out there in the number 9 machine now.
I was cheering for you there. I'm like, Neon, Todd. Come on, don't call it a Dart. Call it a Neon. We're going old school here tonight. Come on, even you had to have a Dodge Neon back in the day.
I definitely did, Phil. Actually, I raced a Dodge Neon in the 4-cylinder front-wheel drive division at my local track. Had some pretty decent success with it. I didn't drive it for myself. I drove it for another guy. Finished, I believe, right around 6 in points, though, with it. I blew 8 motors. So they call them a throwaway car for a reason. Dodge Neon. Definitely not a good car to rev up 7,000, 8,000 RPMs. It throws the number 1 connecting rod right through the side of the block.
Well, it definitely does that as well. And we're not going to talk about you blowing up a Dodge Neon or, going through the flag stand like you've done before, or whatever else you've done crazy over the years. Let's talk to another driver out here. And we highlighted the 37 car of Brandon Spadafora. So we'll see if we can dial up Brandon. Brandon Filicast on Full Velocity TV, brother. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. How are you gentlemen tonight?
We're doing outstanding. As Todd said it, holy Batman. Tell us about that race car, man. That thing is awesome.
This is my favorite paint scheme. Bill Elliott drove it a few times for promotional stuff for Batman Forever in 1995. And it's such an honor to get to actually drive it myself. I love it.
It is a cool-looking race car. As soon as Todd saw it, he screamed out, "Oh, holy Batman." We had to go back there. We had to show it. Unfortunately, you got a little bit of a piece of a 9 car here under this last caution flag. Is the car okay? Any damage? I know we're realistic damage here, and these front ends can be awfully sensitive. It's a tough racetrack tonight. How's that race car doing?
It's you know what, they beat on it a little bit and stuff. I thought I was gonna clear him. I slowed down as much as possible, but I guess it's a self-cleaning track. So when few came down, I just got into him a little bit. But I'll stay back here and just try to work my way up and stuff. It's still good.
Oh, there's a lot of laps to go, man. You know how it goes. We're basically not even 1/3 of the way home. 34 of 111. This racetrack has a way to gobble up cars, gobble up drivers, gobble up attitudes, or whatever else you can do. But Brandon, you've been such a supporter of us here. We always see you in the chat box. Finally, cool to get you up here in the booth with us talking. And man, probably one of the coolest looking race cars out there tonight. Give a shout out there, everybody out there who may be watching us out here tonight. Full Velocity TV, bud.
First, I'd just like to say I'm very grateful for this opportunity, and yes, I really enjoy you guys' broadcast. I'm going to say hello to my friend Michelle and my friend JR Neil, who's out there. They've been really supportive of me, and I'm very grateful. And just thank you guys here at Full Velocity for doing this for us tonight. I'm very, very appreciative.
Well, I encourage you, Brendan, go back and watch this replay. Some really cool features here as you guys got in the spirit of throwback night. Well, we got the old DRTV pace fan. The DRTV logo is out there. I think you go back and enjoy the early part of the show. So, don't do it now. You're on the racetrack. We don't like texting and driving. We tell Everett this all the time too. Not a good idea. You guys got your hands full enough for Darlington. Keep the fenders clean of that thing, bud. And we'll do this again soon. Good luck the rest of the night there, bud.
Thank you so much, sir.
All right, Brendan Spadafora, car number 37, Batman Forever. Probably, Todd, if not my favorite race car, because I'm partial to that 4 Pennzoil scheme. But, man, that's got to be pretty close to second. That is a cool-looking race car.
I seen that, and when I went down through it, when I was going down through it, I seen that car, and I was like, man. That brings back some memories. Back when NASCAR, it was NASCAR, Phil. It was NASCAR. Now I don't know what to call it. I really don't want to get any letters from NASCAR right now. So I'll leave them be. We'll see what's going on with these guys out here. And the lights are extinguished atop that DRTV pace band. We're going to go back to green flag racing once again, Phil. Let's see if we can get a green flag long run in here at Darlington. If not, I guess I'll have to pace my friend.
You may have to page your friend. And unlike the best teams in NASCAR who may close down, well, this team is not going to close down. We are here for the duration of this race. We are going to be here for as long as the masses will have us back out here calling races night after night, wherever the sim racing needs. Maybe at our 2003 iRacing, wherever you're playing. If you want to hear our voices, the soundtrack, and the way we'll present a race to you, get a hold of us now. Full Velocity TV on Facebook, fullvelocitytv@gmail.com. Drop us an email. Get your league live on Full Velocity TV. We would love to do it for you. So we're getting ready to go back to green, and we have a new leader, Todd. The 21 car, the Ford of Steve Rubino, going to lead this field back to the green flag. Joey Sigmund, Herman Reese, Roger Nebelsick, Rich Knappett going to be your top 5. Maybe some sneaky here done by Steve Rubino as he'll bring the field back to the green flag in the first time into turn number 1.
Yeah, first time down into turn number 1. Now almost at the exit of turn number 2. The 73 of Herman Reese trying to get around Joey Sigmund in that number 64 Jim Beam sponsor machine. Not going to be able to do so, but look at Sigmund in the 64 starting to catch the number 21 of Steve Rubino. Rubino out there a little bit longer than some of these guys, probably behind him, but Rubino has a pretty good setup. I do feel underneath him he's been not so tail happy like some of these other guys. Here comes Herman Reese. Reese down to the bottom side here of the number 64 machine. 64 goes up the track almost into the outside wall, and now he makes contact with a 51, and now the 64 falls victim to the wall, and 87 plows him. Oh boy, Everett Lentz in the 37 of Spadafora. We should never talk about drivers anymore, Phil, on air, because those guys just got totally wrecked.
I don't know. I don't know what to say. You've got Phil at a loss for words. We talked to Brendan. I was calling Brandon. Brendan, you know, we talked about Everett texting and driving. I wonder if he was caught watching and driving. Todd, I'm going to let you go back. I think you got this caught on the live feed. And, you know, I'm kind of a couple of seconds delayed here on what you got broadcasting out to the live feed, so I may be a tad bit behind, but looks like you may have caught most of this live, as you called it, you know, in your call. I'm going to pray among all hope. Everett, you're our buddy. We love you. Pray to God, Todd, that this was not an episode of texting and driving and hitting the guy up against the wall, but nonetheless, it sucks. You see the 64 up there, you get stuck on the wall, and things just happen. And I think that's what you're going to show us.
Yes, indeed. And this is going to be tough. This is going to be, you know, viewer discretion is advised here. The guy is stuck up in the wall. Just remind that. Just remember. Stuck up in the wall. Here comes Everett Lentz. And he drives up. Oh, he makes contact with the wall. Oh, hard into the 64. I mean, he pounds him right in the rear. And that number 64 machine. The 37 comes along. Spadafora. Look at Spadafora. You know, he had nowhere to go. He just seen all that smoke and, you know, smoke, and he thought maybe the self-cleaning. He thought he learned his lesson. Okay, Phil. He talked about self-cleaning, so he's thinking that they're going to go down the track here. A little surprised though. It's not quite as self-cleaning as it is in the corners. And Spadafora unfortunately involved. Those guys flipping and turtle. I'm going to say it, Phil. Turtle on the 64 machine.
And almost, not only turtle, how about into the wash cycle? You know, that car was upside down. It was spinning like a top. You see Batman involved. You see more cars just making savage contact. I believe the 0 of Rob Keller took a pretty hard hit. I mean, I'm just kind of going back through that live still you had before you went back to the live feed, and just counting up the race cars. There's been a lot of gobbled up here. Looks like Batman's night's going to be done. Frank Brodowski's night at 39 looks like his night's going to be over. Everett Lentz, there's probably not much left to salvage. The 87 car, that thing is destroyed. You know who loves this caution flag here, Todd? Think back to the early laps of the race and our pole sitter, the 28 car of Keith McLean. The aliens took him. They roughed him up a little bit. They spin him back out. He was 4 laps down. Well, he's going to get the lucky dog this time around also. Keith McLean, our pole sitter, and keep in mind a 28.3 second lap put him on the pole. Keith McLean, Todd, the 28, he's going to be back to the lead lap. That's a developing story here from Darlington.
Yeah, definitely the developing story. Listening and on the chat box, and tough break for Brendan and Everett Lentz and all those guys. He's saying that no texting was involved there, Phil. So we can't blame the texting or even watching for that matter. So he just got plain old loose on that 87 machine. And he slapped the outside wall, and unfortunately the 64 was also up on the outside wall about the same time. So it looked like two trains that were on the rails, and they just made contact, heavy contact. And unfortunately the 37 also involved, and those guys' nights are done. Again, guys, I think that DRTV Cloud has come over Darlington and is starting to make some noise with some of these drivers, and it's unfortunate.
Well, we hated to do it, Todd. We just hated to do it. We live on a shoestring budget here. You know, we live by the seat of our pants. We're in business here to, you know, to the thanks of all the guys out here in these great leagues who, you know, allow us to do this. But I think, and we're gonna have to get the prescription pad out. I think you know who we may have to call here for the next restart. I hate to do it. We're 40 laps in. We've seen a lot of cautions. I think we expect them here at Darlington, but I think we probably need to pay homage to an old friend. I wish it was Rich Patton, but we're not so lucky. We'll have to pay somebody else.
We're definitely going to page Dr. Green. We're paging Dr. Green. Dr. Green, we need some elixir for the yellow fever here tonight at Darlington. Hobo Racing, DRTV, throwback style. We're calling on you to try to bring us green flag racing here and get some elixir out here for this yellow fever. So, Dr. Green, hopefully you have what it takes to get these guys to some green flag racing.
Well, and we hate to do it. We always hate to page Dr. Green because, frankly, that guy costs a lot of money. Unfortunately, another guy who may have to spend a lot of money repairing that race car is our old buddy Everett Lentz. And Everett, I hope to God, you said in the chat box that we swear there was no texting and driving this time. Tell me it was just that car stuck on the racetrack. We've all been here at Darlington before. Guy gets up on the wall. There's nothing he can do. The traffic parts, and you're just that next guy who unfortunately happens to hit him as he's coming off the wall. It sucks for you, bud. Tough to see you out so early.
Yeah, it does suck. All that happened is I tapped the brake to try to turn under him, and that back end just snapped loose like crazy and went straight up to the wall, had nowhere to go, and I just feel bad for, I think it was the 64 ahead of me.
Yeah, it was definitely Joey Sigmund there. It's a tough break because he was a car stuck up on the wall. We saw Danny Rubino do that a little while ago, too, and his fortune was a whole lot better as he was able to keep that thing up there, and everybody, you know, had their P's and Q's around them to give room and avoid that car. Unfortunately for this case, it looks like Joey's car got stuck, and as we talked about earlier, this racetrack, anytime you get into the wall, it'll suck you right in. It almost like it has glue on it. The unfortunate part for you, it looks like it may have spit him back into traffic, so any evasive move you made, probably touching the brake, upsetting that race car, you were kind of probably just a victim of circumstance there, and that's tough, definitely a tough break for you. Tough to see you out so soon.
Yeah, I mean, I think I had a good car. I hate what happened there. I know I took out a few good cars also. I was just trying to pick and choose what I was doing tonight, but nothing I can do there. He was just stuck to the wall. I got him at the wrong place at the wrong time. It's all on me and no one else to blame.
Well, Everett, we're back to green flag racing, 42 laps in, but we have a lot of laps here left to go. Any predictions that you think we can expect to see? Who's going to be the car to beat? You know, we're going to see more yellow flag? Are we going to get a long run in? What's your predictions out there? You're a guy who's been watching a long time.
I think Keith is going to make his way back through the field as long as the aliens don't abduct his car. But I know Herman's got a pretty stout piece also. It's anybody's game. This is just one of those races.
Well, we'll let Everett go back out there, grab his popcorn, you know, sit back and watch a retro version of DRTV tonight on Full Velocity TV. But Everett, as always, great to talk to you, bud. I know we'll do this again soon, and thanks for all the support you not only give us, but the Hobo Racing and the entire community in whole. Always fun to talk to you, my friend. Enjoy your evening.
You too. Thanks for the great TV here, and I'm going to go enjoy a Pepsi instead.
Well, that sounds like a plan. That's Everett Lentz, unfortunately, 87 car out of the event. But, Todd, we had some developing situations up there up front. Herman Reese brought the field back to the restart. About a 3/4 of a lap in, that car stepped out on the back end. We have a new race leader on the 51 car of Roger Devilsick up front, who now is around to the inside wall.
The 51 heavy damage as he went all around by his lonesome and made some contact. The 73 also Herman Reese, he was all kinds of slap happy out of that corner too. So I almost think there's something going on as those guys are exiting that corner. It's just slick, real slick out there, Phil, and those guys just coming around. And I'm not sure what's going on with most of those guys, but it's just slick coming off the corner for those guys. And unfortunately, Nettlestick, man, pounded the inside wall. So we're going to go back, see if we can get a replay here on Full Velocity TV, DRTV style, and see what happens here, Phil. So I'm going to go back to work here.
Yeah, put the headset back on, put the eyes on, go back to work. Todd Stanton, the best in the business down there at the controls here. Him and our buddy Joe Allen, who's going to, hopefully from time to time be able to join us on one of these shows. Two guys have a ton of talent down there in the booth, and it's always great to get one of them up here alongside and just get to talk back and forth and not worry about, the controls. There's a two-man operation here. Todd does a great job in his role, not only being my color man alongside, but being the guy responsible for putting the pictures out there for you, showing you all the looks, going back here through all the live scenes at a big conglomerate. I know I spent some time out there at his place here about 6 weeks ago, getting everything back in running order. So it's quite the big scene here anytime Full Velocity TV comes on the air, especially back in the old NR 2003 like we are now. But under a caution flag there, Todd, Roger Nebelsick, the 51 car. He was a leader. Well, unfortunately, not leader anymore.
No, we get to highlight him, and not the way he probably wanted to be highlighted. And the 51, the Roger Nebelsick, we're going to ride along with him, camera angle and all. Slap happy, tail happy, off of corner number 4, and noses it hard into the inside wall. And there's no snow down there. It's not fluffy. It's all wall in the 51. Heavy smoke coming out of Roger Nebelsick in the 51, and I almost wanted to bet Phil his night's going to be done. And we'll see what happens, and maybe he can conclude and be able to go out there because he's able to drive away. But, man, hard contact for Nebelstick. Nobody else involved, though. But Nebelstick definitely not looking too good out there as heavy smoke pouring out of this car.
Not only did that car hit as good as it did with the front end, it hit so hard it bowed up the back end as well. And, phew, that car is tore up to pieces. If it's still running, which it kind of appears that it might be, it's certainly going to be down on power. It's not going to be short on personality. Don't get me wrong. Roger is he's a colorful guy, one of the nicest guys out there this community has to offer. But that 51 car down on pit road, it's up on the jack stands, and I'm not so sure, Todd, that car is even running at this point. Looks like there's going to be some heavy damage to repair on that 51 car as his Ford has found its way onto pit road. And seeing some of the leaders have come in on this yellow flag as well to top off, but 51 car, they refired it. Roger Nebelsick, he's going to return to the racetrack. Wonder how much power that car is going to have left.
We have another little thing here, Phil. We're going to show Mr. Rubino. Dan Rubino. Seeing a lot of smoke on the track still after the 51 came down. And Rubino, unfortunately, Dan Rubino, the 44. His night don't look so good either. We're going to look, and it looks like he was trying to miss it, hit the bottom apron. And all of a sudden the green's still out, and around goes the 44 also. And he breaks it a little bit, but he hits the corner of the inside wall. The corner. What type of aim do you got to have, I'm going to tell you, to hit the corner of the inside wall? And he just drove right straight into it. You could see the impact on that 44 machine, and you could just see how it bows in and hits the radiator. Look at this, the corner of the wall, and he almost got stuck there. Man, the 44 Dan Rubino, if it wasn't for luck, he wouldn't have any, or bad luck, he wouldn't have any at all, Phil. And Dan Rubino, definitely a hard contact and lots of smoke barreling out of that 44 machine. Tough break for the 44.
Yeah, he hit the very end of the wall there where the concrete meets the safer barrier, and after seeing that hit, you almost want to page the guys at Darlington to even extend that safer barrier out a little bit further. As Danny Rubino there, unfortunately, he caught the hard part there, and that car is just jacked up. It is tore all to pieces. The front end of that thing, I don't know if there's a single good piece of it left out there. So, so not only is Roger up there with some damage to the front end. Oh, Danny Rubino, that car, if it's not junk, it's not going to look good. I can't imagine it's going to run good. Tough break for both of those guys. We talked about it. Darlington, a self-cleaning racetrack. It's going to usually take care of itself. But what was once 30 drivers that took the green flag, well, we only got 23 of them left on the racetrack. Most of these guys have all been tore up due to, you guessed it, crash damage.
The lady in black is claiming her victims, and they're picking on the DRTV / Full Velocity TV announcers. They're using what we say out there, Phil. And they're like, he's next. He's next. And that's what happens to these guys. Poor guys. Hobo Racing League unexpectedly taking some heavy contact from the lady in black, Darlington. I'm almost willing to bet a lot of these drivers ready to get out of Darlington, and they want to come out unscathed. One of those drivers being Herman Reese. He is your current race leader. Rich Napick running second. The Rooster in the 94. He's running third. Austin LaPlante fourth. Fifth is the number 4 of Clifton Ashley. Harry Codiani in the number 13 machine. He is running sixth. Rob Heath 38 is running seventh. Eighth is Duke Sorensen. Steve Grant up to ninth in that number 11. DJ Hinsky in the number 14. He is currently running 10th. Lights are extinguished atop that DRTV pace van. Getting ready to go back to green flag racing once again here at Darlington. He takes that hard left-hand turn down the pit road. We're just going to wait on the flagger. The flagger's a little bit delayed here this evening, but that's not his fault. I believe he's had one too many beverages here early on in the going. Waiting on that green flag once again to send Herman Reese on his way. And watch how quickly he does get up through that green gearbox as green flag is in the air. The 73 leads that charge down into turn number 1. The number 6 of Rich Napick running in that second spot, and already a 5-car length advantage for the 73 of Herman Reese.
Yeah, Herman Reese going to break away. We saw him do that on the last restart. Unfortunately, that car down the backstretch got a little bit of tad bit tail happy, and he surrendered the lead to 51 of Roger. But we saw how Roger's trek with the race lead ended. We'll see if maybe Rich Napick can tell a different tale this time, as he's brought the 6 car up to second. The 94 Carl Rooster, he's up to third. He's got that melling machine pointing in the right direction. And Austin LaPlante, he's having a solid night. That low Chevrolet sitting up in the 4th spot as caution flag once again going to come out here at the Darlington Raceway. Looks like maybe another victim here. I believe the 0 car of Rob Keller, maybe one of the cars involved, just to give you kind of a point where to go back and look there, Todd. But looks like the lady in black, the track that is too tough to tame, it is proving here, still shy of the halfway mark, that it is just proving way too tough here for Hobo tonight. This place is gobbling up race cars. You got to think the guy who we talked to here in Victory Lane in a little while, it's going to be a guy who's probably certainly earned his dollars by just wrestling this race car around this very, very tricky, legendary egg-shaped oval.
And it's definitely going to be the number 0, Coca-Cola sponsor machine. Nice throwback scheme for the 0, Rob Keller. And again, TV time, probably not the TV time he wants, but he's got TV time to say the least. The 0, Rob Keller, we're going to show what's going to happen here. And it's a tale of the story here tonight. It's tail happiness. And it's the 0, Rob Keller, coming off the corner, and he hits that slickness. And for some reason, the slickness just sends him around. Maybe it's oil. I'm not sure what it is. Hard contact inside retaining wall there on the front straightaway, Phil. Once again, hard contact. That retaining wall is getting used up down there, but it's still one piece down there. It's still holding 10, and again, hard contact for the 0, Rob Keller. And nobody else involved but Rob Keller. Tough break for him.
Yeah, it absolutely is. Tough break for the 0 car of Rob Keller. That car, you said, as you've seen here all night, any hit with these walls, I mean, these race cars, they just get cut apart, torn apart, just straight up destroyed. The 0 car, that big heavy hit, damage going to be a little bit too severe to the nose, to the left side, hard hit to the driver's door. You hope Rob's okay. So, yeah, the 23, the 0 going to finish up 23rd here this evening. That car going to leave the racetrack on the flatbed. It's been a tough night for the guys at Hobo here now, working lap number 52, 111 laps here, basic distance. So we still have the second half of this race here to go. I want to hear what the guys out there in YouTube chat are thinking. We've had a really good crowd all night long. You guys have been really chatty, as you always are. I see we've lost Everett. He went out there. It looks like he's going to, call it a night, But we had a lot out there watching. I want to know your predictions here. Let's go in the game of gambling right now. We haven't seen, as far as a long green flag run, who are the predictions going to be? Who is going to go to victory lane? Who is going to be the big winner here on DRTV Throwback Night on Full Velocity TV for Hobo Racing? Who's it going to be? We got about 50-plus laps here left to go there, Todd. let's get that chat box alive and let's start predicting a winner here this evening.
I definitely want to know who's going to win here this evening. Yes, guys are dropping out. We're almost to the halfway point here, Phil. Just a little bit longer. We'll be at halfway here, halfway home in Darlington. So it is that time to do your pick. Let's see what you guys think. Who is going to win here tonight? Darlington Raceway. We want to see that YouTube chat box come alive here. You guys have been fantastic all evening long. Everett Lentz out there alien hunting. I don't know if that's going to go so well for him. We'll have to see. We'll have to check back in with him. If he doesn't make it the next time we broadcast, Phil, we know why. So, again, throwback night here. Loving the DRTV Pace fan. Love that it's out there. Don't love that it's been out there so many times for these guys. I know these guys are probably angry at one another or angry at each other for bringing out these yellows. But, you know, it just seems to be the product here at Darlington here this evening. It's just loose. Really, really loose. And I don't even know how to solve that with open setup there, Phil. Maybe make a couple adjustments other than that. I mean, cold tires are not helping the matter. These guys just got to make some adjustments and maybe get some heat in those tires. Now, I think you're going to see a long green flag run that these guys are going to show us here at Hobo Racing League.
Well, you think about it, Todd. It's open setup, loose race cars. That's been the name of the game out here all night long. Loose. Well, they say loose is fast, on the edge of out of control. What kind of adjustments do you think they can make to maybe tighten these cars up to maybe cut down on the amount of caution flags we're having here tonight? Because, you know, we just put some of that special, organic type of fuel that, that van takes. That was a lot of money. We may have to spend some more money. So, give some advice to these guys. What can they tweak on to maybe make this race go a little bit smoother for all these guys out there?
I wish I could help them with open setups. You know, if it was a dirt kind of setup, you know, I would say change some air pressures, change some different staggers and different things like that. You can change some of those things in heat races and from heat to heat. But this is asphalt. It's a little bit different here. I'm going to say a lot different. Maybe a track bar adjustment. Something to that effect there, Phil. I'm not an open setup guru by no means here. I know you've dabbled a little bit here and there throughout the community here in open setups, but I definitely don't know the open setups like a lot of these guys out here at Hobo Racing League. And, you know, I'd be one of those guys saying, hey, Rich, give me a setup. I want a setup. Hey, Harry, give me a setup. Somebody give me a darn setup so I can race with you guys. That's what I would be doing.
Yeah, well, color me guilty. And knowing that, straight up, we'll just kind of call a spade a spade. I suck. Put me out there on this racetrack tonight. I'm not going to do any better. But I do have a perfect word of advice for these guys, and it may not be for the faint of heart, but Phil calls it like he sees it always has. We're playing NR 2003, Todd. But you know what the greatest thing is? This game goes back. You can have all the feel you want in these cars. Stability control, traction control. Darlington's tough. Not a lot of green flag racing. Save your race car. Turn that stability control on. Am I right? Am I wrong? You guys in the chat box, let me know. I think a couple of guys out there are going to tear me up, but it's a tough night, Todd. If I'm going to bring a car home at Darlington, I may have to go in there and use some of the driving aids that this game's offered me. I want to go to the checkered flag here later on.
Yeah, I have to agree with you, Phil. I mean, if that's something that option's available, you can use that and save your car, and maybe towards the end of this event. Pace fan down there on pit road, getting ready to go back to green flag racing. These guys are locked and loaded. Green flags in the air. We're back to racing this time. Rich Napick in the number 6 machine leads them down here into turn number 1. Herman Reese, let's take a look where Herman Reese is. 14th on this restart. So Rich Napick going to lead them down here with the number 94 Rooster sitting in that second spot. Third is Austin LaPlante, Harry Codian. In the number 13, he is 4th, Rob Heath. In the 38, he is running inside the top 5 in 5th. So these guys locked and loaded, a little bit different style here. It's the yellow flag comes out once again. We get a quick green and a quick yellow, Phil. I don't know. Dr. Green has no cure for it right now. I don't know who else we can call. The Ghostbusters?
I was thinking maybe Ghostbusters. Phone a friend. I mean, we got to try something. I'm not exactly sure. I don't know. YouTube chat can maybe help us out, but You know, I don't even see, this one may have been, looks like a debris caution here. I don't see anything as far as car around. Issues may have happened, whatever else. So, what do you say, guys? It's been a rough go for us here. I'm going to pause, take a quick drink. Going to let Todd do the same thing. We have been busy. Let's go back and relive a little bit of that DRTV intro, all the history here, all our humble beginnings here. We'll be right back here on Full Velocity TV from Darlington. I just get chills every time we've shown it here. Second time tonight, we've gone back and showed off the very first, and this even predates Todd and myself here, the Dyno Racing DRTV days. That's basically when DRTV came to be. It was Rich Patton, you know, our old buddy who, you know, put this thing on the map for us. You know, guys like Matt Hatfield came along. Sean Prime was able to do a lot of announcing. J-Rock, Martin Karch, myself, Todd. I mean, we've had a lot of cast of characters over the years. Joe Allen, of course, joined us later on. Gary Mingus did some shows with us. Eric Miller did some shows with us. I mean, long history here with what was once DRTV. Go back to that archive, guys. I know we're here on Full Velocity TV. That's the YouTube page we have linked now. Unfortunately, we don't own the rights to link that page, but we can refer you to go back to the DRTV YouTube page. Look it up. You know, our buddy Rich is so great with it for a long time. He kind of took all that with him when he left, but all the old videos are still there. I'm sure there's probably going to be close to about 200 shows on there. DRTV on YouTube, guys. Full Velocity TV on Facebook. Go back and watch some of the archives. I went back earlier this week, Todd. I revisited, you know, some of our very first broadcast. You know, I went back and watched an old show 3 years ago from Darlington that we did. I went back and watched some of the early shows, like, you know, some Riverside Park stuff we've done. Went back and watched our Road America race. But one that jumped out to me, and I think you made mention of it, I went back and relived that memory today of the fluffy snow that one time in Michigan. You know, back in the old days where we went to go over the Rolling Thunder Gaming and broadcast with them and hope that we do so again one day. We'd love to go back and revisit, reconnect with all them guys. But who can forget that Once Upon a Time night? And they can go back and probably watch it, the RTG Happy Holidays 200, snow-covered Michigan. I'll never forget the explanation there of Todd and the fluffy snow. That was a banner night here. It's just one of the so many memories that we can go back to and have the nostalgia about here, going back to a DRTV insignia for this one night.
Those are definitely days I do miss there, Phil. And Rich Patton, you always heard him in your ear quite a bit there as we were both announcing back and forth. A lot of those guys out there, RTG, you know, Hobo Racing, we broadcasted for ECT, we broadcasted for quite a few guys, Bomb Squad Racing. All those guys, you know, I'd like to see those guys come back out. We'd be able to broadcast for all those guys, Phil. I would love it to just go back there, broadcast for them, showcase what they have. I know they're all still around and they do a fantastic job, but right now we're covering Hobo Racing League here, Darlington Throwback Edition here on Full Velocity TV. We are DRTV tonight, Phil. One and only time here. We're going to have the DRTV Pace Fan out there. How many of you out there on YouTube have missed the DRTV Pace Fan? How many would like to see the DRTV Pace Fan? Maybe come the Full Velocity Pace Fan or something to that effect. Maybe we'll retire it again and not bring it out to Darlington. I'm not sure, Phil. Maybe we can come up with something else here for Full Velocity TV, but I'm glad to see it back out there running around, showing its roots here at Darlington. And, oh, man, great racing going on here as far as these guys being able to stay up front. And you got a lot of comers and goers because they're coming down Pitt Road. We've been mired by a lot of yellow flags, though, Phil. And Dr. Green tried to pull that elixir. Maybe it's one of those 24-hour elixirs. I'm not sure what's going on with that. But hopefully we do get some green flag racing in, because these guys here deserve it. I know they can do it, Phil. I mean, they've done it time in and time again for us here on Full Velocity TV, DRTV, any broadcasting outfit we've been. And Darlington's just tough. I mean, they call it too tough to tame. They call it the Lady in Black, and that's for a good reason.
Well, somebody need to buy this old lady a drink and maybe some dinner, because I want to see some green flag racing, because I love the van. We've seen a lot of the van. We're not gonna. If only anybody can hear, the back channel of what I get from this guy on my other side. So, some good one-liners being thrown here. But let's see some green flag racing. Let's retire the van for the night. Let's take this thing all the way to the duration under the green flag. It can be done. It's been done at Darlington before. The guys at Hobo, they are top notch. We have 22 drivers left of the racetrack, 21 on the lead lap. We're getting ready to go back to green. Rich Knappick's going to lead the field. Rooster, Austin LaPlante, Harry Cody in. Rob Heath, your top 5. Green flag going to go back in the air. Cold tires. We've talked about it all night long on these restarts. It's slippery. It is treacherous. But it is go time here once again. Now 60 laps going up on the board. All these cars dancing up to the high side of the racetrack. You have to run that high side to be fast at Darlington, but that corner lurks every time now into turn number 3. We find the race leaders. See these guys dive it in low. They wash up the hill. They straddle that line right up there. In dirt, that would be called the cushion. But they keep it away from that wall. That wall can reach out and grab you here in a hurry. You don't want to be there. We've seen enough caution flag for the night. Let's stay green. Good racing going on for the lead now. Knappick has it. But Rooster, the 94 car, he is all over the back bumper. One mistake, we may see a lead change in. Caution flag there, Todd. Caution flag on the racetrack again, and I think you could probably go back to find this one, and nope, maybe I don't have it. So I'm going to put you to work down there again. I'm going to wait to see the caution overlay. I'm going to have to go back there to, to look over the stuff again. I believe the 51 car may have got something to do with this one, but I'm not quite so sure. So, Todd, I'm going to throw it over to you. We'll see what you can give us here for a Full Velocity TV replay. This one may be a little bit tougher. I haven't yet to find it, but you've got more cameras than I do. So what do you got for us?
Well, as the flagger has pulled the string once again here on the yellow flag, the number 14 and the 21, they were involved in this one. This is the beginning of it. So, unfortunately, Steve Rubino. And the 14 hits the wall, comes off the wall down there in front of the 21. 14 comes down, self-cleaning, back up the track, misses the 21. Oh, but McLean got good old Keith McLean there in the 28 machine as he was running real strong. They are coming back up through the field. The aliens inducted him. He felt good about his night, and the 14 appears in front of him. And I believe that's going to end his night. Is the 14 heavily involved here. Subcompact for the 14. 28, no better. The 28. I do not see as much black smoke out of the 28. Might be able to get it repaired, but unfortunately, those two guys, no worse for the wear here. Now the 14 starting to puff some smoke as you see him come to an end here down on the bottom side here. So tough break for the 14 of Hensley, and actually the 28 of McLean also smoking pretty heavily there. Both those motors in dire straits here, and unfortunately, they might have to pull the plug on those two cars.
Can you have any more of an adventurous night than Keith McLean has had? Comes out in practice, that's a great lap. Goes out in qualifying, puts a beat down on the field by a 1/10 and a half. That's no small feat. Goes out there with the pole, disappears in the opening laps. Little alien abduction. Comes back 4 laps down, 4 lucky dogs all the way back to the lead lap. Erased his way all the way back into the top 10, and then on the wreck. And it looks like, Todd, the topsy-turvy, upside down kind of night of Keith McLean. Looks like a 28 car. Tough break. The old Davey Allison throwback scheme. Up in smoke. And it looks like the 28 car's night now may have expired. That is a tough... Yep, there's a lot of guys tore up. There's a lot of cars tore up. I'm sure the drivers are getting a little bit tired. The crew's getting tired. Everybody... We're trying to caffeinate pretty heavy up here. Trying to keep the energy high through the last part of this race. So, going back there to... I was just kind of watching back through. We're still checking out here some of these really cool-looking throwback cars here as we're celebrating Throwback night here after what was. All right, we'll try that again. I do this 3 times a show, and I did it again. Unplug the microphone, lose connection with you guys, but think we got that all settled up. But yeah, celebrating what was a really good NASCAR weekend here with Throwback Weekend, and as most of these leagues out there that have Cup Series do, they follow the actual NASCAR Cup Series schedule. That's the same thing Hobo does here on Tuesday nights. It was Darlington week. We come out here to celebrate. We put the old stickers out on the van. We come out here with the old throwback logos, all these old school paint schemes that can tell 100 stories in their own right. We're all laboring. We're doing our best here. 64 laps going on the board, but it has been a long night here as for Full Velocity TV. Thanks to all you guys that have tuned in. Hope you've enjoyed this night just as much as we have. This has been a whole lot of fun, just kind of revisiting some of our old classic moments, great races we've seen in the past, old leagues we get to caught up with. And we'd like to do this for all leagues out there, guys. Full Velocity TV on Facebook. Full Velocity TV at gmail.com. Send us one of them old school emails, and let's discuss your idea. Let's get your league live on the airwaves. We do have availability open through the winter time. Weekend availability is going to be tough, but weekday shows, I think we're going to have quite a bit of opening for. Get a hold of us now. No league too big or too small. We will try to accommodate everybody. If we can, manage to double book ourselves to cover everybody, we will absolutely do our best for you. Full Velocity TV, Todd Stanton, Phil Lacasse on the call, as always. And, we put the prediction out here, Todd, what seems like forever ago. Who's going to go to victory lane? I've seen predictions for Rich Knappich, but you know who I haven't seen any predictions for here tonight? The van. The van's led the most laps. I wonder who's driving the van. We may have to interview them at victory lane at the end of this thing. I hope not, but by the looks of this race, the van has led the most laps. What do you say we change that tail?
Yeah, hopefully we do change that tail as lights are extinguished atop that DRTV page van once again. It's going to be Rich Knappich, Rooster, the number 94, the 48 of Austin LaPlante, the 13 of Harry Codian. Josh Boyer now in the 41 machine. He is up to 5th. Herman Reese up to 6th. 7th, Steve Grant. Jeff Fugate in the number 9 machine. He is running 8th. Kevin Roy. And 9th, Jason San Diego. We haven't heard much from him. He is running 10th in that number 22 machine. 11th is Clifton Ashley. 12th, John Palmer, the dog, in 12th. He's lurking around there in that 108 machine. Duke Sorensen in the 59. He's 13th. Dan Rubino, 14th. 15th is the 51 of Roger Nuddlestick. Randy Smith is running around there at 16th. Old Pushrod, number 17. He is running 17th. Then you got Steve Rubino, Rob Heath, DJ Hinsky, and Keith McLean still out there, I do believe, running here many laps, or a couple laps down now as they were bringing out that yellow flag. The field is restacked, repacked, reloaded. We're getting ready to go back to green flag racing here at Darlington Raceway here on DRTV. Waiting for that loud pedal to go down. Green flag is in the air, and look at Rich Knappich coming down into turn number 1. He got one whale of a start here, but closing the gap rather quickly. The number 94, the Rooster, in second right now, about a car length and a half. Austin LaPlante all over his rear bumper. That number 48 machine, Harry Codian, running in that 4th spot. So those guys all tight together here. Let's see if the Rooster can make a charge.
I think that 94 car looks to be pretty good. It's been one of the more solid-looking cars all night long. I kind of like the look of the entire roster of that top 4, but I'm also keeping an eye on the number 41 car of Josh Boyer. Josh has won on, our airways before. Really good, really solid race car driver is the 41. He is now up to the 5th spot. Not a guy we've talked a lot about here tonight, but keep an eye on that number 41 machine there, Todd. Josh Boyer currently running 5th. These cars up front, we start to get a little bit more racy. I think the 41's going to be good. Also going to keep an eye on our point leader, Herman Reese. He's now clocked his way back into the top 5, and that Cadillac is digging. He's got Harry Codian up ahead. We may have a race up here for 4th. 73, we know he's fast. It's time to show that muscle.
Yeah, 73 of Herman Reese running in the 5th spot. He's trying to track down here the 13 of Harry Codian, and he's tracked him down pretty much here. About 2.5 car lengths between himself and that number 13 machine. He did back out of it just a little bit. Looked like the 13 got a tad bit loose in front of him. Same way with maybe the 48, getting a little tail happy here off the corner. And that corner number 4 is rather treacherous. Here comes the 13 of Harry Codian down to the bottom side. He's trying to get around the 48 machine of Austin LaPlante. LaPlante running up on the top side. keeps in the throttle almost through the floorboard there to keep into his position in the third position. Now Harry Kodiak goes to the top side in the number 13 machine. LaPlante lets him by. He rolled over. He played fetch. He did whatever he did there and let the 13 go by rather easily in that number 13 machine.
Well, Austin's been up around the top 5 all night long, and I think he's kind of seen how the night has played out. You know, that up in those top 2 or 3 positions hasn't exactly been the best place to be as guys get overzealous. They overdrive the race car, and you saw another one up there getting a little bit tad loose up front, and now caution flag going to come on the speedway, but it looks like the 66 car of, I believe that's Jason 2 out there in the 66, the old looking, I believe call that old Elliott Sadler Phillips 66 scheme that was out there years and years ago. That car got loose, but I think the caution flag was even out before that, so that's going to put Todd back to work. I've lost the scratch pad. I have no idea how many yellow flags you've seen in this event, but I believe, Todd, not quite sure, but I think the 44 car of Danny Rubino may be involved in this. I see a little bit extra damage. Not quite so sure. You've got more resources and abilities down there in the trailer than I do. I'm going to throw it to you. I'm not sure if you're quite ready or not, but I'm going to take this brief second. I'm going to steal a little quick cold splash of Mountain Dew, and we'll get set here for the last part of this race.
I am indeed ready, and it's going to be interesting we brought out this yellow. The squirrels in the squirrel cage have all had heart attacks, and they're done. I'm going to say that right now. The hamsters or the squirrels that were turning the wheels, just done. 44 driving around, minding his own business. Mr. Rubino and pop. Pop goes the weasel, the hamster, whatever's in his motor, completely gone for Rubino. That brings out the yellow flag. That's why the smoke was coming out, transpired. He puts in the clutch to try not to bring out that yellow flag, but indeed he does so because he's dropping oil all over the speedway and nuts and whatever else is up there in that motor. Unfortunate turn of events here for the 44 machine. He was able to last as long as he could there with that. It's a subcompact, almost a modified, their open wheel type of car there, Phil.
Well, and Bino is a modified guy up in the Northeast, so maybe a throwback for him was maybe run open fenders. You know, modifieds raced on big tracks once upon a time, so maybe Dan kind of thought, let's drive this modified out there. But yeah, it looks like May Pop finally expired. We saw him have just an absolute crushing hit, you know, on the backstretch here a little while ago, meeting with the concrete met the safer barrier, and I could not believe that car still had power to even make some more laps. So no surprise at all there. Todd is singing in my other ear, and one day we're going to record all these back channel stuff because you guys may get more of a kick out of this and listen to us two idiots try to, you know, kind of cover what's going on. But nonetheless, yeah, Danny Rubino's night looks to be done there as well. The motor expiring on that thing, that car down to pit road. Looks like it doesn't sound too good. Looks like that thing is going to be pushed behind the wall. Looks like the 44's night is going to be done, as is the 4 car of Clifton Ashley, which is a tragedy to me watching the Steve Park machine get, you know, pushed back behind the wall. Looks like the 4 car's night is, you know, he just may be tired there. It's been a long night. You know, it's been a tough, grueling night, but these guys, you know, no worse for the wear. If you're going to win a race at Darlington, Todd, you have to deal with all obstacles aside. You got to deal with yellow flags. You got to deal with, you know, it's truly one of these things, kind of like the community has turned into. It's survival of the fittest. Dog eat dog. Doesn't always bring out the best racing, which you can say here tonight. This hasn't been exactly a race. We've done a lot of pacing, but it's Darlington for you. That's the story of what it is. It doesn't have the moniker of the track too tough to tame, the Lady in Black, or any other kind of nickname you can give this place. It's tough, and it eats race cars, and it does a whole lot of no good. It's a tough racetrack. It's a great racetrack. You can do some really good racing on it, but man, you get a good crowd. It's a little bit loose. It's a little bit warm. These race cars are a handful tonight, and I think everybody out there can see that.
Not only does it claim race cars, Phil, it claims your mental stability. It claims all that stuff. I mean, it's a war, like you said, a war of attrition, not only on the cars, not only on the equipment, any of the tires, you know, any of the parts in the car, of the crews. It's a lot on the driver itself. The driver has to figure out what's going on. Pacing around, you're thinking, how am I going to make this work? You're thinking too much. When you're under green flag conditions, you're not thinking as much. You're thinking about how to keep the car underneath you. But you're underneath this yellow flag, and there's been a lot of them here this evening. Like I say, there hasn't been. These guys have been thinking what kind of strategies they're going to play, and the strategies do change because of the yellow flags. Do you want to go down on pit road early and get some gas and go, or change some tires on early, and then maybe stay out for a green flag run, or just stay out, period? And maybe you might not get trapped in the green flag run, and you can take tires maybe the next yellow flag, you get like 5 laps. There's so many different strategic calls when you have yellow flags out there, but none of them are really good. Like you said, Lady in the Black, too tough to tame. Darlington, it's not one of my favorite tracks. It's one of my favorite tracks to watch in TV or in person. It would be if I could get down there, just because of the rubbing and the racing, and this is what kind of like home track racing is. It's a shorter track. It's only 1.33 miles. It's short. It's fast. And it's rather destructive. So that's what a lot of the fans do like. But tonight, I'm sure a lot of these drivers just hoping to get out of here unscathed. A lot of them have already pulled behind the wall. It's an unfortunate chain of events for some of those guys.
No, it really is. But, I mean, all things aside, it's been a tough night. But you talk about how tough Darlington is, but, it's a great racetrack. It's tradition. And what sport honors its tradition? I'll say baseball all day to a blue in the face, but NASCAR has a way, especially with these throwback weekends, just as we're doing here tonight, celebrating, our legacy, as years with DRTV and, Hobo being out here tonight, who have, no better league I can think of to do a night like this. These guys have been so loyal to us, for such a long time. But, going out there, seeing all these old retro paint schemes, reliving, a lot of our past old glory. It's been a fun night. It's been a long night, don't get me wrong, but the legacy, to tradition, the ambience, it's Darlington. It doesn't get any better than this. Real life, it's tough on a simulator. It is a tough racetrack to drive here on a simulator. That's one of the best here. The Southern 500 trophy, it's been coveted for so long because this place, it's just one of a kind. It is unique. We're unique. We're back to green flag racing here. New leader is a 94 car, the Rooster. I figured he eventually would find his way up to the front of the field, and he has done so, as has the 13 car of Harry Codian. Those are guys up in the top 5 of the points, as is our point leader, Herman Reese. Steve Grant, another top 5 points contender. They always say, Todd, the cream rises to the top near the end of one of these races, and you got 4 of Hobo's very best up there, right there in the top 4 here, as we put 75 laps on the board. We're starting to get down to the later stages of this race.
Yeah, down to the nitty-gritty here, the 11 right now. We're watching a nice battle between 11 of Steve Grant and the 38 machine of Rob Heath. Those guys are duking it out here for that 4th spot there. The number 11 machine able to keep the 38 at bay here momentarily as he's trying to make his trip up through the field there. The number 11 being Steve Grant. Grant having a great run here on Full Velocity TV. The Herman Reese machine almost hitting the wall. Here comes Grant down to the bottom. Not so fast. He tucks back in the line. Doesn't want to force the issue here early on the going here on Herman Reese. And I'm going to say early on the going in this green flag run here. So Steve Grant still running in that 4th spot, backing off just a little bit. Meanwhile, up front, Herman Reese has a different strategy as he's trying to get around the 13 machine of Harry Codian. He tries the top side, maybe a high-low switch here. Not going to be able to pull off that type of pass here. Harry Codian now drops to the bottom. Now Herman Reese even further down to the bottom. This is going to be interesting through the corner. Herman Reese backs out of it. I thought there was going to be melee in corner 1 there, Phil.
Well, thankfully the guys used their heads down to the corner. Harry got loose. I'm pretty sure Rooster saw him there, and Herman had the ability to take it 3 wide there, and I think all of us knew that was not going to work. Herman, the veteran, a really good gentleman race car driver in his own right. He's won a lot of races. I think he did the right thing because it's too early to race that hard. But look at this race up front now. Here comes Harry Codian. He's to the bottom of the racetrack. Rooster going to go up the hill. Harry Codian for the first time tonight. He's going to motor the 13 car up to the race lead as they work their way down the front straightaway.
Yeah, Harry Codian in the number 13 machine gets about a 5 car length advantage here on the number 94. The Rooster now falls back into the clutches of the 73 of Herman Reese. Reese now all over the rear bumper. How fast is he going to be able to get by him? High side move here for the 73 down the front straightaway. That's a power move. by the 73 of Herman Reese. Put Reese to second, drop kick the 94 of the Rooster. Back to third, now falling into the clutches of the 38 of Rob Heath. Heath right there trying to knock at his door here, the number 94. So we're going to have to see if Heath can get by him here as we're on lap 80 of 111, Phil.
Yeah, Rob Heath has started to make himself a player in that number 38 Ford, now up to the 4th spot. And, you know, he's got the 94 of Rooster up ahead of him. Here comes Rob Heath, that 38, that white and blue Ford to the inside. Rooster's going to lay right over that Melling Ford. No reason to race here is you got to see the end of one of these races. Maybe let these guys go up there and use up their stuff. Rob Heath now up to that 3rd spot. The issue is he's got some track to make up between himself and the 2 guys up ahead, that being Herman Reese and Harry Codian. But the 38, he's got a good car. Put him up to 3rd. Only problem is he's got half a racetrack to chase down as these guys in a turn 3. Harry Codian, your leader by about 5 car lengths over Herman Reese.
Yeah, these guys setting a blistering pace up front. Right now, Harry Codian has a .419 second lead over the 73 of Herman Reese. Another 1.863 back to Rob Heath in that number 38 machine. So Heath right now quite a ways back compared to Harry Codian or the 73 of Herman Reese. Reese starting to close the gap on that number 13 machine here. We're waiting for timing and scoring to reset, but I know he has indeed, in fact, ran down the 13 machine just a little bit of Harry Codian. We're on lap 83 of 111, and right now Herman Reese about half a second behind the number 13 of Harry Codian.
And I'm back here, kind of drifted back there, Todd. This race for 4th has really been a really good one. Watching these cars start to slide all over the racetrack. The Rooster has it with 94. Steve Grant is there. But Rich Knappick in the 48 car of Austin LaPlante, they have been all over racing. Here comes the 6 car of Knappick. He's to the inside of Grant. Put Rich Knappick, he's now back up in the top 5. He may bring the 48 car of Austin LaPlante with him as Austin's looking to make his way to the low side of the racetrack under the 11 car. He'll fall back in line. Thought that may be a 2-for maneuver, but Rich Knappick now back up into the top 5, and he's got, you know, Rooster up ahead. That's going to be a good race for 4th. As here comes the 6 car. He's going to make the move to the inside, headed toward turn 1.
Knappick down makes it easy around the number 94 machine of the Rooster. He's able to get around and move up into that 4th spot is the number 6 of Rich Knappick. Knappick now up to 4th in that Valvoline Ford. And he's able to make now maybe a run at the number 38 of Rob Heath. He's got a little bit of distance to climb, I'm going to tell you that. It's about 2.9 seconds between himself and that number 38 machine. 38 starting to run down those top 2 guys. Rob Heath's having a good run in that number 38 machine. Right now, Herman Reese is .220 back of Harry Codian, but Rob Heath is only .643 back. So he has caught those guys in a rather quick fashion there, Phil.
No, he absolutely has. You may call this a really good 3-car race up for the lead here pretty soon as they work their way off of turn number 4. And looks like now Herman Reese going to go to the race lead, followed by Rob Heath. Believe Harry Codian. Codian had an issue in the 13. Not exactly sure what happened there, but something totally amiss on the 13 car. Todd, it may be, I see that Chevy Camaro car number 13. He is down on pit road. Harry Codian having to pit out of the race lead. We'll see if we can't cover his pit stop. Definitely unscheduled and definitely unfortunate. I think he was banking on using a little bit of track position here with another caution flag. It just doesn't work out for him.
Yeah, definitely not working out for the number 13 of Harry Codian here down on pit road. Getting service to his machine. We're going to have to wait and see what's going to happen to him. I believe 4 tires was the call for the 13, and that's not what he wanted to do here this late in the race here. 88 laps of 111 right now. Herman Reese, your current race leader in that number 73 machine. The second place guy, the number 38 of Rob Heath. Rich Knappick up to 3rd. 4th is Steve Grant. 5th is the 48 machine of Austin LaPlante. His yellow flag going to fly once again here, Phil, at Darlington. That's the story of the night here. Darlington claiming the next victim here. Who's next?
I don't know if you want to be the one who's next, but that's going to put us under the caution flag once again. And this one may have caught up the 21 car of Steve Rubino. He may have been a victim in this one was too. I was watching a 13 car pull off a pit road. Harry Codian took 4 fresh tires. He's going to be, it looks like the first car scored 1 lap down. So this may be a break for Harry Codian there, Todd. I don't know if timing and scoring is totally caught up yet, but if it does, and he stays one lap down. Harry Codian may be the lucky dog, and that may be the luckiest guy in all of Darlington, South Carolina, because I think these guys, after this run, most of them may elect to come toward pit road. You may see the 13 out there with fresh tires, and that track position he gave away, well, he just may gain it back, but we'll see what happens here under caution. Let's go back and revisit what put us under the caution flag.
Yeah, it's going to be the 94 is Rooster is out there on old tires. He's struggling just a little bit as you've been watching him fall through the field. And here comes the 94. We're going to show you just a little bit ahead of what happens with Mr. Steve Robino. 94 goes up the track, drifts, lets 77 by. 94 thought he was clear hard into Steve Robino. He gets his pilot license there momentarily. Spins around, heavy damage. He flips, smoke burrowing out of his car and back down into the inside wall just to finish him off. Steve Robino, tough break for that number 21 machine. A couple of hard hits there. Up through the catch fence. They're going to have to repair that, Phil, and that's going to be some more damage here. More damaged race cars. Rubino, not the time that he wanted here, not the highlight video he wanted. Yeah, I mean, he's got, at least he got some TV time, I guess, but the 94 Rooster thought he was clear, got up into the 21. 21 went for one whale of a ride here down the front stretch.
Yeah, and not only was that a subcompact, it got shorter in the nose as well. Tough break for Steve Rubino is... I know I've had some communication with him. It's been a rough night for him. It's been a rough night for the guys at Hobo. It's been a tough night for all of us. But no, this has been fun. All issues aside, I know Steve is probably going to beat himself up, say, God, this is such a bad race. But no, it's really not. It's Darlington. Everybody's had these races out here. They're long nights. They're unfortunate nights. No way near indicative of how these great leagues are. Hobo Racing is a fantastic league. We've had great racing here before on the airwaves. I've seen
Not quite sure what happened to Phil there. Momentarily, some kind of glitch here on Phil's end. Going to cover what's going on here. He's going to have to finish his thought here in just a little bit, as I know everybody's hanging on his word right now. But right now, your current race leader is the 41 machine of Josh Boyer. Boyer elected to stay out there. He has some damage on that number 41 machine. 73 of Herman Reese. He is going to be running second here when we get the green flag once again. 11 of Steve Grant. Also out there, Austin LaPlante running fourth. Rich Napick fifth. Sixth is Rob Heath. Randy Smith up to seventh. Eighth is Kevin Roy in that number 77 machine. Jason San Diego running in that ninth spot. John the Dog Palmer in the number 108. He is running 10th. Jeff Fugate is running 11th. Duke Sorensen 12th. 13th Pushrod in that number 17 machine. The Rooster is running 14th in the number 94. Harry Codian. One lap down right now in that number 13 machine. He runs 15th. Roger Nubblestick just out there running in that number 51 machine. He is 16th. Steve Robino 17th. 18th DJ Hinsky. 2 laps down. 6 laps down to number 66 Josh 2. And Clifton Ashley, who is behind the wall. Also Dan Rubino on the 44 behind the wall. Many other guys also behind the wall. The Lady in Black has claimed a lot of drivers, a lot of cars here this evening.
It also claimed my team speak here, and that is the most helpless feeling. Half the time, you know, I'll be the idiot that unplugs my microphone. The most helpless feeling as an announcer, the 2 words, connection lost. I'm talking to you guys, and all of a sudden I'm not talking and had no idea until that little eerie voice in my head says, well, I have lost connection. But think I'm back. Think we're good. Apologize for losing that mid-thought. Sorry to Todd. Sorry to all you guys. But, yeah, I think I'm all good now. Didn't lose any connection to the server. Didn't lose anything else. Just for whatever reason, our two-way communication here just completely went to the south for me and had to do some quick rebooting on my end. And I think we're all set to go here, Todd, as I think we're getting ready to come back to the restart. The lights are out atop our old friend, and, you know, I thought it was going to be a nostalgic kind of thing, but I'm almost kind of getting over seeing it. Not ever going to get over the van, but we've seen a lot of it here tonight. It has been just a long night, a lot of caution flags. I'm going to probably take it back. I'm going to, look at the export after the race. I'll bet you probably at least 2/3 of these laps have been under the caution. It's been a long night for the drivers. The guys are losing patience with it. I think our viewers out there, they've been game. Todd and I are going to give you the AF that we're always going to try to give it every night. I hope you guys are all enjoying it. Thanks to the YouTube chat. It has not stopped all night long, and that is what makes these nights go on for us. Even when they're the longest of nights, all of you out there, our viewers that give us all the support, it makes our evenings go around. It makes these shows so much fun. We're having a blast here tonight. Another guys at Hobo may be a little bit frustrated. Other Rubino's family probably a little bit frustrated. No need whatsoever. It has been a banner night for us here with Full Velocity TV. Having a grand old time, and a new race leader has emerged, Todd, the 41 of Josh Boyer, using a little bit of strategy. He leads the field back to the green flag toward turn 1. 93 laps on the board, so we're under 20 to go. It's time to settle it here on Full Velocity TV.
Yeah, time to settle it here. Full Velocity TV style. Herman raced down to the bottom side, trying to make short work here of the 41 of Josh Boyer. Boyer trying to hold on to that lead. He did indeed stay out in that number 41 machine. Old looking Kodiak sponsor machine here with that 41. Now able to try to hold off the 73, but here comes the 73 of Herman Race. He dives down to the bottom side. He's going to take over that lead from Josh Boyer in that number 41 machine. The 11 of Steve Grant still running in third. Fourth is Austin LaPlante. And guess what, Phil? It's out again. That trickery, stupid yellow flag. We just can't get rid of it. Maybe we just need to go up there and throw that yellow flag away from his arsenal or something. I don't know.
I don't know, and maybe, just maybe, somebody can take it, hide it, burn it, whatever you have to do. It's only the caution flag. Who is going to miss it? I don't think any of us are going to miss it here tonight. As it looks like issues happening toward the front of the field, Todd. Looks like something broke loose. Looks like a 22 car of Jason San Diego may have just broke eerie loose off the corner. Unfortunately, that may have claimed a couple of more race cars. I think the 108 car of the dog John Palmer may have got a piece, and in that situation, the old dog is really nothing he can do. Nose damage to the front end of the 108 Charger. I knew you're going to have a better look for it as I know you got more camera angles, but it looks like, just as we saw earlier, a 22 car just seems to lose all traction, and at that rate, game's on.
No, it doesn't help the 22. He has no rear end. His spoiler's all jacked up. Just everything's missing. Subcompact Chevy Aveo here, the number 22, and this is what happens to him. We're watching him, and it looks like coming off of turn number 4, tail happy. Around he goes, slickery, dickory, dock, down into the inside wall. 22 of Jason San Diego goes. Nobody else involved. Looked like the 108 of John the Dog Palmer was going to be involved. Did not get involved in that one. He may have made slight contact maybe with the 22. We're going to go back and just take a sneak peek here and see what happened as far as where the 108 goes. I don't think he made any contact. It looks like, oh, no, he made just a tad bit of contact here to the front nose. So, my vision did deceive me just a little bit there, Phil. But tough break for the 22. San Diego, he, I believe, is going to be out of this event. And tough break for the 108, John the Dog Palmer. He's kept it clean all night. Unfortunately, not that time.
Nope, not that time for the dog whatsoever as well. There's a little bit of nose damage there, but 22, well, that subcompact, looks like that car maybe, and maybe, you say a cat has 9 lives. Well, he may have used them all up now because it looks like a 22 car has, brought it pit side. Looks like those guys, you can see the exhaustion in their face. Jason, I'm sure, has got to be just mentally exhausted. It's been a draining night. There ain't no doubt about it. Just about an hour and 45 minutes ago, we had 30 of these drivers take to the green flag. And unfortunately, we talked about it early. It's going to be Darlington. We're going to see cars get tore up. We're going to see caution flag. It's going to be a longer night. But what happened, what started as a 30-car field has whittled itself down to, I believe, 16 left on the racetrack and only 14 of those left on the lead lap. So if your car is still running if it's got 4 wheels on it, it's got no fender damage, you know, no engine damage. Your cards play just right. You stay clear of what may be a wreck up front. This race may be nowhere near over, Todd. The laps say 97 of 111, but the action, the drama, the excitement, it's been building itself all night long at a very, very slow burn. But I think we may see more stuff in the complexion of this race, maybe about to change yet again.
I have to agree, Phil. I think with all the cars that are out now and the heavily damaged cars, you might see some guys get loose again off of turn 4, but I think they're going to be able to control it. I think we're going to have a nice green flag run here to the end. I think these guys have thinned out. The 51 of Roger Nellistick, he's up by the leader here. I believe he's going to get one of his laps back. That'll put him 1 lap down. He wants to see another yellow flag. I know a lot of these guys out there don't, like Josh Boyer. He is your current race leader. The 73 of Herman Reese still set in 2nd. 3rd is Steve Grant. Austin LaPlante is 4th. Rich Knappick is 5th. Rob Heath is 6th. 7th is Randy Smith. Kevin Roy 8th. Jeff Fugate is 9th in the number 9. And John the Dog Palmer still hanging on to 10th even after the contact that was made. He's still out there, Phil, running. A lot of these guys out there running, you see a lot of no fenders, no hoods, crinkled up rear ends. I mean, all sorts of damage to these cars out there on the track. They're still running. You know, that's what points championship is all about. Consistency. As many points as you can get in this old NASCAR-style point system. And that's what a lot of these drivers are doing. And that's why you start seeing them hang around a lot more than some of the other broadcasts that we may do.
Well, absolutely. If your car's still running, you have to stick it out. You got to maximize every point you can make. And, you know, especially each position, you know, may get you 3 to 4 points at a time. So you got to do all you can. If you're in it for the long haul, you have to maximize any night you can, even if your car is damaged. And you see a lot of guys out there still are. You know, Roger Devil's car is all tore up. He's still out there making laps. The dog's got some damage. He's up in the top 10. Jeff Fugate's got a short end, back end. He's in the top 10. You know, we've seen guys have a little bit of issues here and there all night long. Another guy we haven't talked a whole lot about here tonight there, Todd. The number 77 car of Kevin Roy, he's had a really good night as well. He's up in the top 10. We haven't talked anything about the 77 car all evening long, but at the end of one of these nights, which has been a long night, the 77 has kept that old, you know, that old paint scheme kind of mostly on the clean side. Kevin Roy may be a car that may come out and steal this thing toward the end of this race. And look at that old paint scheme. That looks pretty neat.
You know, and I don't know why I overlooked that paint scheme there, Phil. All evening long, the 77 of Kevin Roy, it's pretty clean. And it looks really nice out there. That Ford Credits Quality Care Service sponsored Ford Fusion. Nice looking car. Another nice looking car out there. And I don't see any damage to that 77 machine.
No, and I believe that was an old Dale Jarrett paint scheme. I've seen that one before. It was very rare. They didn't run the white scheme in the Yates camp often, but that's a cool-looking paint there. 77 of Kevin Roy. Gave him a little bit of his dime here on Full Velocity TV. Enjoying it here tonight with the throwback feel, all the great race cars. You know, the Full Velocity TV signia going out to paying homage to DRTV tonight. The van is out in full force and, you know, now on the second tank of gas, so we may need to take some donations on that van because it may bankrupt the operation by the end of the night. Also a good run out of the gate here, Todd, for a guy we haven't talked a lot about. He's in the top 5 in the standings. The number 10 car of Randy Smith. He restarts this time 7th. Another car that's kind of been clean here and kind of out of the spotlight all night long, but the 10 car of the 77, these may be solid top 10 runs if these guys can bring this thing in one piece all the way to the checkered flag. As we're back under green flag racing.
Yeah, back under green flag racing. We're going to hit the century mark this time by 41 of Josh Boyer is your current race leader. Herman Reese all over his rear bumper trying to make some headway here as he goes down to the bottom in that number 73 machine side by side with Boyer. Boyer backs out of it, lets the 73 of Herman Reese go by, drops back down in front of the number 11 of Steve Grant, the 48 of Austin LaPlante and Rob Heath. Those guys right there tight-knit together. Here coming through the field, though, the 41 loose, and around he goes and collects the 11 of Steve Grant, and the top 5 all piles in. And, another yellow flag, another claim here by the lady in black, and, man, it's just slick coming off those corners, so I just can't get that underneath. It's just, you know, these guys are coming off the corner, just the ass end just steps out, and Unfortunately, the 13 of Harry Cody and I see down there involved, and that claimed a lot of guys. I'm going to say probably the top 8 guys, not including the leader.
Yeah, and you're going to have to go back and probably look at this one from a couple of angles, because this one kind of went on here for a couple of seconds, and when you thought it was done, it just kind of kept going. And I think one car, you may have another guy out there taking an FAA test for a pilot's license here. So this one's going to take a couple of quick angles to look at here. There's going to be a lot to show. We'll put Todd back to work, and hopefully for the last time tonight here, we're going to show a full velocity TV replay. If Todd had $1 for everyone he showed here tonight, well, he probably can go out there and buy his brand new Crate Sportsman car he's going to buy. But we'll talk about that on another day, maybe another TV show. But Todd, show us what happened. The 41 car was running second, and then it went sideways in a hurry.
Yeah, we're definitely going to show a couple of different angles here. I'm going to go back to the screen here. We're going to show from the 41. I just showed you here what happened. He got tail happy, got loose. Josh Boyer in that 41 machine just coming off the corner. It just slapped sideways. Actually, it was actually entering the corner about midway here as he's getting ready to come off that corner. But he gets tail happy. In return, the 11 gets involved here. So the 11 of Steve Grant, we're going to see him get involved here. Takes him up into the wall. Then you have the 38, the 48. You have a couple other cars up there just a little bit further. It looks like Rich Napick. And then other cars just get involved here. As we're going to go ride with Harry Codian because he had an interesting trip up through here, Phil. We're just watching here from Josh Boyer's perspective. Now we're going to go ride with Harry Codian and actually look from I'm going to say from the TV camera. We're not going to actually ride with him, but we're going to get that view here momentarily.
Yeah, Tom, just take it away. I've kind of went back and looked at it too, but yeah, ride with a 13, ride with a 38. I think Rob Heath's car will give you quite the show as well.
Oh, here comes the 13. We're going to show the 13 what happened with Harry Codian. And a nice paint scheme out there. We got that scheme here later in the portion here. Glad Harry Codian was able to get us his paint scheme and be able to show his light here. But this is what happened to Harry Codian. He tries to slow down. Self-cleaning track, thinks he's alright, and yeah, not sure. He just don't see it. 38 spins down in front of him, and that's the warp right there going on. I'm going to tell you right now, the 38 just bounces up in the air and collects the 13, and they do kind of cyber humping or whatever you want to call it down there, the 13 and the 38. And those guys get some pretty good damage, significant damage there. We're going to see if we can go back with the 38, like you said, Phil.
It may have been the 13 that I saw take the hit, and it was, and it also caught, it looks like the 17 of our pushrod Bob Becker there as well. And it's been one of those nights where it's all been happening, you know. Usually you see a race, amount of yellow we have seen here tonight, Todd, and the amount of carnage. It seems to always happen mid-pack, but the majority of all these action wrecks tonight, it's all been up to the front of the field, which has been peculiar. It kind of takes me back to, you know, back in, I think, 1996 or 94 even at Dover, where I think they had about 17 yellows in a 500-lap race, and I think 15 of them were right up in the top 3, and the majority of them had even the race leader spinning out all by himself.
Yeah, definitely. It's just rather interesting. We're in cockpit with the 38. We're going to see what happened to Mr. Heath here. Just look at the 41 around. He thinks he has it cleared down here. Stop cleaning track. Gets involved with the 48, and then around he goes. 6 got involved. Rich Napick, and then he gets plowed here from the 6 again. And he's just spinning around. You know, it's a helpless feeling. The 108 gets involved, and look at 13 just finishes him off here. So, unfortunate chain of events for the 38. A lot of these guys involved. Sad to see that.
Yeah, it's claimed 2 more really good race cars. Rob Heath's night is done. Harry Codian's night is done. You know, and it's just been one of those nights. We talked about the race complexion was going to change, and you look up front and you find our points leader up there. The number 73 car of Herman Reese has kept that Cadillac for the most part clean. It's been on the wall a couple of times, but you're going to run Darlington, and you're always going to find a Darlington stripe on the right side of your car. And as Ray Evernham said to Jeff Gordon once upon a time, if you know, you had no scratch on the right side. Even if you're in victory lane, you obviously were not trying hard enough. So these guys with these clean race cars tonight, hats off to them. But, you know, you look up there, you see Austin LaPlante's running second. We know Austin gets around this place really good. He may be a contender to win. Rich Knappik's running third. We've seen Rich here in a victory lane very recently here on Full Velocity TV. And you look back, we talked about Randy Smith. We talked about Kevin Roy. You find those guys now inside the top 5. You find the dog, John Palmer. He's up there running 6th. I'm sure he's a guy who will be the first to tell you. Darlington, not one of my favorite racetracks, and here's the dog having a great night. How about Jeff Fugate? A guy we saw in the wall, you know, it feels like forever ago. No back end left on the race car. He's up at the top 10. It's been a night of survival here on Full Velocity TV. The guys at Hobo, they have been game to it. I know everybody's tired. It's been a long night. We're 2+ hours on the air. The chat box has been alive this basically the entire 2 hours. It has just made this night absolutely fantastic for us as we've talked about some old memories. We have to relive some old times, see some old sights we haven't seen, but it's time to do a familiar thing, Todd. It's time to go back to racing. We're about to put the finishing touches on this thing. Hopefully for the last restart of the night. Green flag is up in the air. Herman Reese going to lead the field to green. Austin LaPlante is there. Rich Knappik, the 6 car. 73, the first one through the bumps here through 1 and 2. He's going to take the low side. The 48 going to drift up to the high lane.
73 of Herman Reese, your current race leader by a car length and a half over the 48 of Austin LaPlante. LaPlante trying to catch the 73 machine, the 6 of Rich Knappik, running in that 3rd spot. 4th right now is the 10 of Randy Smith, and Kevin Roy in the 77 machine running in that 5th spot. So having a good run there for the 77 machine. Just waiting to see what's going to happen with some of these guys. As LaPlante looks like he's dropped a little bit off the 73 machine, about 0.208 seconds between himself and LaPlante there. So it's going to be even bigger that time. By the stripe, it was 0.656. So it's just growing here for Herman Reese. Reese has no damage on the number 73 car, just trying to motor it home here at Darlington, making sure that he's not going to get tail happy off the corner as we go to complete lap 106 of 111, Phil.
But up front, the 48 car of Austin LaPlante has gone around. He is into the inside wall, and that's going to bring caution flag on the speedway yet again on the racetrack. And this one, Todd, we're getting close to laps, and this one may be the race back that decides the race, because these caution flags have been kind of extended. This one is going to be close as they take the flag here, I believe, on 107, maybe 108. So this one may, for all intents and purposes, may be over. And a night where Herman Reese probably just wanted to survive. You know, he's going to leave out here with his points lead intact. What better way to extend the points lead? He may have a stranglehold on this series championship. Looks like a 73 of Herman Reese. He may have the lucky car here tonight. He may bring that black Cadillac down into victory lane here, but we'll have to see if we have another restart. I want to throw it at you, Todd. Maybe get one quick last replay here. Not sure if you got a glimpse of it. Looks like the 48 car, as we've seen all night long, just got a little tad bit tail happy, a little bit loose, and you know, Austin LaPlante's night was up and was running second, had a car that may have been able to contend for a win or a good solid finish. Looks like now that's just kind of all go by the wayside now as the 48 car on pit road. A little bit of damage to the front end, right side's up in the air. 48 car, a guy like Austin LaPlante, you don't really see a guy like Austin. He's really talented. You know, we've seen him win races. We've seen him spin late in the going, but it's just got to be frustrated here. After a long night at Darlington, you put yourself there, and less than 5 laps to go, you're around. Show us what happened there, Todd.
Yeah, as he's spinning around, they're going to see what's going to happen here. He steps out, spins around like a top down here, down the front straightaway for the 48 of Austin LaPlante. He does get that lap in. Not that it matters that much, as now he makes a little bit of contact to the bottom wall here. But he spun around like a top. No worse for the wear for the 48 machine. He did have damage already on the right side. Now he has damage to accompany on the front side of the car and maybe the quarter panel of the left side there. So now the left side quarter panel heavily dented by the number 6 of Rich Knappik. And the 48, unfortunately, just went around all by his lonesome out of turn number 4. And that has probably been the most tricky corner here at Darlington here this evening, Phil, and has claimed the most people.
It's claimed drivers for years. It claimed a really good one there, and it may have just claimed what was left of green flag racing. We're going to hold out all hope that we bring this thing back to the green flag. There's one car, one lap down, so maybe an outside slim possibility at a one-lap shootout here. But what do you say, guys? We're celebrating Throwback Night here. Full Velocity TV is DRTV one more time. If you haven't seen it yet, let's relive here early memories of just how this, this humble product came to go over 5 years ago. God, I just still tingle going back to well over 5 years ago now with the creation, the brilliance of our old buddy, Mr. TV Time, Rich Pat, and the wizardry of what he used to bring us, the product that he brought to life for us, gave me a new life into this community, gave me a new way, and we celebrate that here tonight. Thanks to him, thanks to all the guys that helped get us out here, to the Dave Stanleys, to the Brian Peters of the world, all the guys that were so instrumental to allowing Todd and I to have this platform. Joe Allen as well, our buddy here, who's going to go, who's going to be back here time to time, help us as he can. But Todd, we have some great news from trackside. I think we saw this last time at Hobo, a one-lap shootout, a green and a checker. Well, we haven't seen a lot of green flag racing all night, but why not give it one more try for one more trip around the 1.33 mile egg-shaped, legendary, historic Darlington Oval? Can Herman Reese hold off a Rich Knappich? How about Randy Smith? Does he have one more swan song left in car number 10, that Led Zeppelin Pontiac out there on the racetrack? He's had a great night. Kevin Roy, the 77, he is up to fourth. How about Rooster, the number 94 car? He's been up and down all night long, back in the top 5. One more circuit to settle it here at Darlington. Who's it going to be there, Todd? Herman Reese has had that really good one-lap speed. Rich Knappich's had a good short-run car all night long. What do you say we settle this one more time, old school style here, the way DRTV used to do it?
Yeah, one more lap to go here. These guys are restacked, repacked, reloaded here. DRTV pace man, get ready to make that hard left-hand turn down to pit road for the final time here this evening. One lap shootout on the docket, just waiting on the flag. Man, once again, delayed start always by this flagger, so these guys pretty much know it here this evening. Just waiting on that head starter to throw that green flag so we can put that loud pedal down. Green and white in the air. And we're racing here, Darlington, down into turn 1. Randy Smith with a whale of a start. The 77 of Kevin Roy also. They both get around Rich Knappich. Knappich drop kicked back to that 4th spot. The 73 of Herman Reese down through 1 and 2. Down the back straightaway here. Herman Reese in the number 73 machine. Down into turn number 3 for the final time. And off of turn number 4 is the number 73 of Herman Reese going to show the way. Going to lead probably the most laps here under yellow. Checkers, flags in the air for the 73, our current points leader and our race winner here tonight, Herman Reese in that number 73 machine. Second is going to be the number 10 of Randy Smith. I do believe Kevin Roy in the 77 going to finish up third. Fourth, the 6 of Rich Knappich. Fifth, the Rooster going to salvage a 5th place finish. John the Dog Palmer, good run for him. Glad to see him up there in 6th. 7th, Jeff Fugate. in the number 9. 8th and number 11 is Steve Grant and Josh Boyer. 9th in the 41. Austin LaPlante 10th in the 48.
Yeah, what an awesome run by Herman Reese there. Was able to have track position late. You know, think he played it just right, and a great run by him. But you gotta say hats off to the 77 car of Kevin Roy, the 10 car of Randy Smith. Two guys, Todd, who really had terrific, solid runs. I mean, terrific runs. And they finish up in the top 3. So this is going to be cool. Well, we'll see if we can't talk to our top 3. Well, I thought we had our top 3. Looks like Kevin may be refusing an interview. We'll have to wait and see. I dragged him there, and he immediately left. So it may be just a quick twofer here on the interview deal. So we'll see if we can't get Kevin back. We'll bring our runner-up finisher into the conversation, and that is the driver of that Led Zeppelin Pontiac, car number 10. Of course, Randy Smith aboard number 10. Randy, it's Phil LaCastle, Full Velocity TV, buddy. Do you have a copy?
Hey, how you doing?
Oh, we're doing fantastic, man. We talked about this through the last 30 laps. I like the look of the way you and the 77 car look here on the interview. Not a lot of spotlight. We'll see if we can't get Kevin back. Top 5 car all night long. But when it came time to pay the money and pay the points, you're up there, the runner-up finish. You got to be excited about that. Great job. Of course, Randy Smith aboard number 10. Randy, it's Phil LaCastle, Full Velocity TV, buddy.
I guess Led Zeppelin's old school, right? Or throwback. How you doing?
Oh, we're doing. Couldn't agree more. I mean, every time I see it out there, we brought in the Swan song. We've thrown a couple of song titles. What better way to celebrate the Led Zeppelin scheme here on Throwback Night? Runner-up finish. Granted, it has been a long night. It's been 2+ hours for you guys on the racetrack. I think no doubt about it, the pace car won the race here tonight, leading the most laps. But, God, tell us about the racing out there. As a guy who was kind of stuck around that 10th spot all night long, it looked treacherous from our perspective. Just how tough was this racetrack for you guys this evening?
Yeah, it's real tough to get going on the, guys are a little damaged, a little slow on the starts. It's tough to go because you can't pass right away, and so you got to wait, and by then you don't have room to pass. So it makes it kind of tough.
Well, that last restart, you timed absolutely on the money, my friend. You were able to get around the 6th car, who I think had a little bit of damage. Was there any way at all you had any more run to maybe claim this thing from Herman up there? Were you going to need another lap, another 2, or did you have anything at all to catch that guy? Because he was quick all night long. I mean, he had a loose race car, as we all did, but could you put the 10 car up there? Did you have anything left to throw at him?
I thank Team Speedland, Steve Grant, or Evans as people call him, because he was mispronounced one time, and the guys over there with Jason San Diego and Wiley King, and some of those guys that are on the team. And Steve Grant helps me out a lot. He sponsors me, and he's a real good car owner, team owner, and so I'm giving a big shout out to him. And there's a couple people that have some family stuff going on medically, and I'd like to give a shout out to them and wish them the best in all their tribulations.
Well, absolutely. We'll send our best wishes out there as well. Well, Randy, thanks for a couple of words with us. Congratulations. Overall, big picture-wise, 2nd place. Nothing to be disappointed about. Good job by you. And what do you say? Let's do this again soon. Congratulations, buddy. Great run.
Yep, 10-4. Kind of missed our Michigan race when we, had the big hiccup on that thing when I got the pole. So I was glad to get back up here and get an interview. Thanks a bunch, guys, for doing all this.
Oh, absolutely. It's great to do it. We'll do this again for certain. That is Randy Smith. He brings a 10-car home. Very, very solid, respectable 2nd place finish here under all the circumstances. But, Todd, I'm going to throw it down to you in victory lane. And we have done this one time before. Last time we talked to our buddy Herman Reese at Talladega, we talked about, survival and bringing home and try to survive in championship mode. Well, he had a good lead coming into Darlington. What better way to put a stranglehold on this championship run than go down to victory lane? He's down there with Todd Stanton. Down to you down there. Herman's got to be a happy race car driver.
That part of the racing was not very fun, but I was very disappointed in my qualifying, but it ended up being the move of the race. Missing that very first wreck put me in position for the rest of the night, and took some of the better cars out of the race, I felt. And I just kind of played my strategy. I got lucky twice there. I was going to have to pit, and I got very fortunate that the caution flew when it did, so I could go in and get some tires and fuel.
Yeah, definitely, Herman. A race where you were able to use a little bit of different strategies. Like you said, a lot of yellow flags, Myers. I know that wasn't fun, but bringing home the victory here, anytime you can bring home a victory, you're going to take it, aren't you?
10-4. You know, at Darlington, no matter real life or simulation, this is a driver's track, and you're always proud to come out of here. Other than that little restart bobble that I don't think I put a scratch on the car, and I'm probably more proud of that than anything. The difference in this race and the last two TV races is no jackwagons knocked me out, so I was able to keep the back bumper on the car, and I was fortunate enough to have some cool-headed people behind me. I hope I didn't mess Josh up there. My plan was, I knew I was faster, and I didn't want to sacrifice him, but he bobbled a couple times, and I was worried Steve was going to make the move, and I felt I got clean, but then he got collected, which is so typical of this racetrack. You know, and so many times guys try to race each other, and it really is what they say. You have to race the track, worry about the track, not the other drivers.
Yeah, it's definitely don't have the nicknames Too Tough to Tame or Lady in Black for nothing there, Herman. I'm going to give you the microphone as we're accustomed to here on Full Velocity TV. The microphone, the floor is all yours. Thank you. We'd like to thank you this evening.
Well, you know, the last couple times I hadn't taken the opportunity, but I need to thank Steve and Dan Rubino. They put this league on, and they take care of us as racers, and they put up with a lot of grief that they don't have to for the fun of it, and it was fun. I mean, regardless of the cautions, it's a chess match, and those guys do a great job. And so was a lot of the racers. It was really nice to see some new faces in the top 5. Guys are working on their stuff and getting better, and that's kind of what it's all about, helping everybody out. So. And I appreciate you guys coming on, taking the time to broadcast our race and showcase our stuff over here. And hopefully get to do it again, and I get to talk to you again like this.
Well, hopefully we do get to talk to you like this again, Herman. And I know there's some more scheduled broadcasts up and coming, and we do appreciate you guys week in and week out and able to showcase you in Full Velocity TV. It is a nice pleasure to see some of you guys out there racing. And your league, guys, is going strong, and you guys do put on some really, really good racing.
How about that battle act? That's all I got to say. These guys better be ready for the chase. I'm going to try and repeat again for 2 years in a row.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, you're coming in with the upper hand there, Herman. Again, congratulations tonight here on your victory, and hopefully we'll see more of you here on Full Velocity TV. And again, congratulations.
Thank you, Todd. Thank you, Phil. You guys have a great night.
All right, well, I think we finally managed to kill the batteries in Todd's microphone, because it's been that kind of night for us. But special thanks to all you guys out there that have made this night go round for us, enjoying what has been DRTV throwback night for us on Full Velocity TV for the Rubino family, the entire cast of characters at Hobo Racing. Awesome to come back over, and we're going to come back to this great league about 9 nights from now. Thursday night, the 13th, we'll be back at the Thompson Motorsports Park for an awesome night there with the Hobo Racing Modified Series. Open wheels on a Thursday night. It does not get any better. But next up for us here, Full Velocity TV, we're back on the airwaves. Get ready, Todd. Back tomorrow night. Another edition of DWR, Dirt Warrior Racing. Wednesday night street fights back over in iRacing. Quick, hot, and heavy action on the dirt. Airtime at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Look out for the broadcast links out there. I believe it's already up there on YouTube. So, guys, bookmark that. We will be back out here on the airwaves, unloaded on the dirt tomorrow night, back here on Full Velocity TV. So, for you guys, this night, I'll say, has been sponsored by Depends, because this guy has to go take a good little potty break. It's been a great night. Thanks for playing along and allowing us to relive it and be a part of what has been an awesome evening here with Full Velocity TV. We'll see you next time.